I'm not sure about that.
I'm
going to trust you.
We're streaming.
Oh, hello.
I referenced something dumb that's like dumb and crass, and it's not dumb and crass and funny enough to repeat, but it's just dumb and funny and crass enough to be like, no, you didn't miss anything, pointedly.
Okay.
I love my new smoothie maker. It's so nice that it only takes 1 minute to make a smoothie instead of 15.
Oh, damn. That's
What?
a huge difference.
Yeah, Maya, I told you guys multiple times, my old smoothie maker was fucking shit. It was like a little wider than a silver dollar.
Oh.
And it was like a cheap gift that my mom got me because she knows I like smoothies. And I definitely appreciate it because it got me back into smoothies, and I have ADHD, so I'll be like, I love that kind of food, and then not eat it for 4 years because I forget about it. But, like, man, it was just a huge pain in the ass. I would have to, like, manually, like, halfway through chopping it up, it would stop chopping because, like, a proper smoothie machine will do that thing where it has enough power, it creates a whirlpool, and the stuff furthest from the blade gets sucked down to the blade and chopped up and shot back up the sides. This did not do that. So I would have to, like, take all the contents out and shake them around and pour them back in. It was an effort.
Well, I'm glad you have a working one now.
Pat, pat.
Pat, pat.
Yep, and we're waiting for Civ, who got up for something or other.
Do.
I guess I'll make some kind of tweet.
Oh, that's not what I wanted to copy and link over.
Oh, that's not what I wanted you to say.
Oh, no. Don't do that. We might get people here.
I am here.
Okay, Civ is here.
Hello?
I believe this is the penultimate case of this game.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really enjoy reading through these with you guys, but, like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm so ready to be finished with this franchise. Like, because once this is done, I have played everything Ace Attorney has ever put out. I have gone through the whole series. So, and to its credit, like, I am shitting on a lot of small things. I think overall this duology is probably the best Ace Attorney has to offer. It's not my favorite cases, but the cast is really good and the production value is really good.
Yeah.
Em and I were just talking about how we've been very, very much enjoying these streams.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
That's good. More Ace Attorney. Oh, great Ace Attorney. Great Ace.
That corny.
Here. I'm going to use the restroom super duper quick, but, like, I can't imagine how many people are going to show up at me. I'm sorry, I'll be right back.
Chapter's gonna open with Benzies.
Hey chat, we're holding auditions for our new masculine voiced co-host. You're already in the cast, Civ! This is the penultimate case. I have no idea what's going to happen. Be there or don't. Nailed it.
In the words of Lamp, be there or be square. And then people respond with square emojis. Because they hate us. I'll put the at or whatever. Not the actual at, but I'll do the at.
Chat's pretty mad that you're not casting Civ as Van Zeeks, just saying.
I think you really oughta.
Civ.
Yeah, what?
Civ, please. You can do a great many voices. I don't know if you'd be a fitting.
This is homophobia.
Shut up. I I don't know if you'd be a fitting replacement for Will doing the literal deepest voice he can do.
You underestimate me.
All right, give it a shot.
Hear it.
Give me your Van Ziegs. What do you
Say
got?
it. Pray forgive this discourtesy, my learned friend.
No, we don't want it.
Hello?
Yes, Sim, say it.
All right. Let's go. I'm sure there will be a cutscene, so I'm going to preemptively up my volume.
Oh.
I'm scared.
Twisted Karma and his last bow.
It's Bo.
Pipe in hand, Sholmes looked down at the thick, rolling fog outside our window.
What an ugly
I
little
wonder
town,
exactly
he said.
how many mysteries are out there, hidden within this bed of fog, he said.
He then heard a siren.
Indeed, a most bizarre...
The Irish!
The Irish!
A hellhound's mad gallop through the shadows of
All
the
right, wrap it up,
mud.
guys. We're
An
done here.
executed man's graveyard resurrection in the dead of night. And a commonplace killing in a small, forgotten room at the edge of town. There is, naturally, always another side to every case, of which most remain ignorant. And it is that other side which compels me to the scene of the crime, Wilson. So quickly now, take your hat and let's be on our way, my dear fellow. For our adventure is not over yet. Come, the game is afoot.
You know, it was... I saw some other thing recently that was like doing like a joke parody of Sherlock Holmes, and they called the Watson character Wilson, and it kind of wigged me out, to be honest. 8 days after that earth-shaking trial and Cosimo regaining his memory, we were in the foyer of one of London's most luxurious hotels, the Great Waterloo Hotel.
Oh, damn. What we doing in here, Ritzy Town?
Ooh.
Oh,
Maybe
That is
maybe
hotel
this is
mystery?
maybe this is where they stayed when they first came here. Do you remember they like spent one night in a hotel and they were
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oops, that was half of our stipend. Professor, oh yes, I'm so excited. He's one of my favorite voices to do. I hope he doesn't get killed
Yes,
immediately.
Papa. Oh, no.
Professor Mikatoba is due to arrive at any moment.
Yes, I'm so glad we got here in time.
Susato-san hasn't been the same since what happened. Not that I'm surprised.
The truth about Kazuma-sama's father. I have to burp. Hold on. It's... Oh, God. Excuse me.
Maybe you can fill in for Will.
Yes! Do you suppose my father knew?
Is there any way you can turn yourself up more, Civ? You're very
Oh,
quiet.
yes. I was being careful just in case.
You're not like very, very quiet, but you're a little quiet, and I've got you at 200, so.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
And I will also turn my threshold up just a tiny bit.
Okay.
Okay.
And I will knock you back down to maybe like 170, and that should get you right. That he was actually the mass murderer, the professor, you mean?
No.
I knew that's what she was thinking about. Who can read whose mind now, Susato? There's a good chance, I'd say. I mean, they did come here to London together 16 years ago, didn't they?
Yes, that's true.
Come to think of it, didn't you say that Professor Mikotoba knew about Cosimo going missing in Hong Kong as well?
That's right, but for some reason he wasn't at liberty to talk to me about it.
Oh, did someone casually say, don't tell anyone once? And he was like, I must ironclad do that no matter what the circumstances. Does it run in the family? That probably means he knows then. About Cosimo showing up here in London with amnesia, and that he's regained his memory now. Ah, there she is! Oh my god. The judge?
Oh my god, Goku looking fly!
Oh, maybe the judge is the third friend who they went with, and he's gonna be a character.
Yeah,
I mean, it
Yeah.
is. They already said that they
I
went to
forgot.
London together.
I did
And
not.
his husband.
Father and father!
Hello. Wow, Mikotoba loses a lot of his presence in that outfit, I have to say. Also, I don't love that hat with that suit.
Man,
No.
Judge looks like he fights bears.
Judge is a
looks
golden
like
comedy.
Judge looks like a King of Fighters character.
Yeah, he does.
Oh my god, I can't believe you took him on a trip for his birthday. That's so nice of you.
That's so sweet.
It is November 1st. It is not my birthday.
Hello, Susato. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. We're delighted you've arrived safe at Father Walkford.
I
Get over
can't.
here.
This suit is so tight, my daughter. Hello, Mr. Naruhodo. Very kind of you to take the trouble to meet us here.
Oh, no, not at all. It's my pleasure.
Is this me, or do we want Yam to have
I believe it was you. I think
Yeah.
it makes more sense for it to be you.
Right. We've heard all about your extraordinary exploits here in London, you know. The news has crossed the seas.
It has.
I always look forward to reading the monthly reports that arrive with the steamships from Britain.
Oh, I see. Well, thank you very much. Who is this man? And why do I feel
Yeah.
as though I've seen him before?
That's right, God. Naruhodo's so short. This is the perspective of, ha ha ha! How are you that small?
Where are my manners? I'm birthday boy. I take it from your expression that you can't quite place me.
In that case, how about a little reminder, Seshiro? Oh, my mouth is wet.
Let me get that for you.
Obviously, the immediate assumption for that is something sexual, but I just pictured something way worse than him just shoving like half of a paper towel balled up in his mouth.
That's better. A firm tap should do it.
Yes.
A firm tap? What?
Susato. Susato Smash?
Here we
Oh,
go
I
then.
see. Yeah.
I hereby pronounce the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo,
Ow!
guilty.
Oh! You're...
How could you not identify this man immediately?
It's a fairly different outfit, and it has been over a year, and you only saw him once.
The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
I love him. He looks great in this outfit.
Yeah, he looks
He does look
awesome.
great.
Your Excellency!
Hello, Judge Jigoku. How are you? It's been a long time.
Good, you've remembered me. That really did the trick.
Kill.
Sorry, somebody uttered me.
Guilty. I've sent people to death with that one.
Only I was declared guilty, not guilty. Oh, sorry, totally misread that. Only I was declared not guilty, wasn't I? And there was no laughing at the time.
So, London again after all this time. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. To be honest, I never thought I'd be back.
Yes, this place sucks. Neither did I.
Yes.
I didn't imagine Japan would ever be invited to an international symposium like this. Though, really, I doubt anyone did, to be honest. It's all thanks to you, isn't it, Seshiro?
What are you talking about, Eugen?
Of course, Judge Jigoku. He must complete the set. He's the other man who 16 years ago came to London with Kazuma's father and Professor Mikotoba. He's the third visiting scholar.
Well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at the border took rather a lot of time. I must say I'm very envious of your oh, that's a hard word for Jello. Ministerial status. You didn't have
Got
to go.
it.
You didn't have to go through any of that, did you?
I knew you were jealous.
I like that they're friends. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, look, his buttons are the attorney's badge.
Yep.
Aw.
I feel like I like the characterization that instead of going, what does that mean? Naruhodo always says, sorry? But like, I never feel like I've read it right one time. It's such a weird, unnatural way for me to say that. Sorry, ministerial status?
Yes, didn't you know? Seishiro here is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. It was his personal insistence that allowed you to take Kazuma's place here on this study tour.
Oh.
Guilty as charged.
Oh. Well, thank you very much. He's really every bit as important as he looks.
Yes, Naruhodo. I received a telegram from Lord Strongheart yesterday.
Oh, you did?
It appears that some things came to light in a trial you were involved with 8 days ago. About what happened 10 years ago. That tragedy.
Dots.
Yes. Could you tell us any more about it?
No.
I'll have to kill you.
Come on.
Can we do this in a private place?
No. Like I said, I really can't move in this little suit.
So,
Oh, you need a private area. It's my birthday. Everyone out!
so how was the voyage here?
Are you changing the
How's
conversation?
the weather?
Well, 50 days at
Are
sea.
you single? What?
What?
Do
Yes,
you not
what?
see that is not the case?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Yeah, no. Oh no. All right. Okay. This is gonna be a rough trip.
Well, 50 days at sea is a long time by anyone's standards.
But it wasn't as bad as when we first came 16 years ago.
Oh, that's true. Then I truly wondered if we wouldn't be drifting in the vast ocean for the rest of our lives. This time we followed the same route as you, so we were able to relax and enjoy the experience with that wonderful snake murder.
So you stopped in France's beautiful capital, Paris? Paris?
Yes, we did. Though only for one night.
What?
No, we needed.
What route swings by Paris? Am I an idiot? Paris is landlocked, right?
Paris is
Oh,
lit. Yeah.
You just take the wrong way.
Oh, okay.
I guess so.
And yesterday evening we left the port of Dunkirk for Dover.
Just in time for the symposium, in fact. It starts tomorrow.
Oh, sorry.
It's wonderful that you were invited to attend such an important international event. I'm very proud of you, Father.
Do you think this cruise line just has like a little Potemkin village set up with a fake cardboard Eiffel Tower, and they're like, "Behold, Paris!"
It's a lot smaller than I would have guessed.
It's thanks to Seisha. No, never mind. It's thanks
Yeah.
to...
No, it's not the joke you think it is, but I still don't want to say it.
All right.
It's thanks to Seishiro here. 16 years ago, he managed to integrate himself with Britain's Attorney General. I'm sure that's why he was invited. And I suppose you could say I'm something of an appendage by default.
Speak for yourself, Eugen. You were close friends with the professor of forensic science at the major hospital.
Yeah, these two are delightful, regular people friends, so one of them is for sure the next murder victim.
No.
Oh.
Yes, well, I'd rather not dredge all that up, really.
No. There's been a lot of water under the bridge since then, but it doesn't bring him back.
Cosima's father, I suppose.
By the way,
The professor, the killer who took the lives of 5 members of the British aristocracy, was actually Cosima's father, wasn't he?
That's correct. Genshin Asugi.
No wonder he had to die.
I'm so sorry. Genshin Asugi. My apologies.
Kills you.
Oh, do you know?
Genshin Impact.
This is what a gift we've just been handed. Genshin.
Genshin.
You knew, I presume, Father.
Yes, he was a close friend at the time. I'd gotten his friendship level all the way up to 10, without using the teapot, mind you.
Genshin tried his best to get a 10 pull, but only got 5. Genshin came to Britain as a police detective. He was studying investigative techniques at Scotland Yard. I've never understood what drove the man to commit such heinous acts.
It was a closed trial, so the public never knew the truth, and he was executed with little ado. To this day, very few people know what really happened, even in our homeland.
But what about Kazuma? Did he know? Did he know the truth about his father?
No, of course not. He was told his father passed from sickness.
You know, while the rest of us have aged, I imagine that Genshin's voice would still sound in his early 20s as long as he lived. However, I suspect he may have had his doubts.
Oh? Why?
As you know, I tried to guide Kazuma growing up, as if he were my own son. Then one day, he came to my office at the university and said,
I've decided. I want to travel to Great Britain and study there. Yep, that's all he said.
Do you think he wanted to come here to investigate his father's death?
I don't know. But when I looked into his eyes, I did know that there was no way I'd be able to stop him.
Dots.
Something else came to light in that trial the other day, actually.
Huh? What?
Well, having disappeared in Hong Kong and been missing for almost a year, Kazuma's since turned up here in London, working as the apprentice of Lord Van Zeeks.
What?
What? That's news to us.
So, Lord Strongheart's telegram neglected to mention that part, then. How was your journey from Japan?
It was lovely, but the Eiffel Tower was small.
As you know, we both thought Kazuma had died on the steamship
Alucard, stop it.
during our voyage to Great Britain in January.
I'm sorry, my cat is causing a ruckus. Kazuma, stop that! But he didn't die. He's alive. As you knew, didn't you, Father?
In actual fact, no. What I did know is that when your ship docked in Hong Kong, he mysteriously vanished.
We sent a team of investigators to Hong Kong to try and ascertain what had happened, but to no avail.
But he's still alive. And here in London, you say? I never dared even to dream it.
Why on earth did the young man not make contact?
So, you know what for me would be such a fun little extra thing? Because I believe, Civ, when you initially, and pretty early on, were like, I'm pretty sure Kazuma's alive and he got smuggled off the boat. And I would love it if the, what's his nuts? If Hosonaga helped him do that.
Hosonaga!
Would love Hosonaga to be a long game. Either like a villain or a chess master character. Because he's just a little guy. And he's been around a lot.
Guy. And can you believe Hosonaga might still be alive?
Yeah, that's true. Poor Hosonaga.
My little meow. Meow.
Oh boy. Sorry, hairball.
You're not allowed to say that without being smited.
The government and the police have been chasing clues fruitlessly for months now.
Well, it seems that he was suffering from amnesia.
What? Amnesia? That's stupid.
It is. When we first came across him again here in London, he didn't know who either of us were.
I see.
He only regained his memory 8 days ago.
This is unbelievable.
Yes, it's quite miraculous. I wonder why Lord
Ladybug.
Strongheart didn't... Shut up, honey. Didn't let us know.
You know I like that show.
I must speak with
It
him
takes
urgently.
place in France, and I thought France would be more impressive.
I wonder how Kazuma's been these past few days. Would it be wrong of us to go and visit him? It's insane that you didn't stop him from leaving.
Anyways,
How was the trip? Oh, the old time in Britain. Okay, I thought he was literally like, how have you been liking Britain so far?
We got off the steamship 8 seconds ago, and there are better things to talk about.
Mikatoba said I couldn't have cotton candy.
You-
Very upset about that.
You know, the dentist said to watch your teeth, and that thing is nothing but sugar. It's not worth it. I like cotton candy.
Reminds me of my
birthday
beer.
cake.
That began 16 years ago now. It's a distant memory, really. It was Eugen here, Genshin Asugi, and myself. We were the original three.
Nope, that's still you. I just moved.
The first judicial scholars from Japan to travel overseas to study.
Ocean voyages were not what they are today, I can tell you.
16 years ago. That's almost 12 years ago. Things were tough for their generation.
Your father was an exceptionally fine medical student at Yume University at the time. You know, young lady, but there was more to that sentence.
Grandmother told me.
He went to do research at a great London hospital to study autopsy, practically unheard of in Japan.
Yes, it was an eerie place, sandwiched between the back of a prison and a burial ground.
Oh, you don't say. Oh, not more talk of graves.
Very often, there's no one willing to deal with bodies following autopsy work.
You see, autopsy labs have something of an unavoidable relationship with graveyards and prisons.
Not my cup of tea at all.
Do you remember that Scottish prison governor? Oh, I'm so excited! Caindon, his name
Rubs
was.
my hands together.
Rubs. Oh, I. Someone in chat when I was like, when we were like, the Irish are coming. Someone was like, you're close. I'm excited. I'm excited.
He was a good man.
Yes, but then of course, in our 6th year here, everything changed with that dreadful case. Then Genshin was arrested for a series of most gruesome pulls.
I simply couldn't believe it. I simply couldn't believe it. 9 grays and 1 blue, and it was just a sword he already had maxed out. Terrible. I'd known the man for years.
I was a witness at the secret hearing, and I tried to speak in his defense, but...
But you went a little too far and ended up facing charges yourself, didn't you?
Damn.
Well, suffice to say that after that trial, we were sent back to Japan.
Well, it's nice that you try to defend your friend.
There was nothing more we could do to save Genshin. It was a lost cause, sadly.
Susato cried.
Our family's bloodline technique. Our tier line technique. Well, if you excuse us now.
Yes, I'd like to get this trunk up to my room as soon as possible.
Was
And
there a
my
body in it?
suitcase.
Oh,
No.
I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have held you up here for so long.
I'll call for the porter then. Just wait here. Hello?
Susato-san's gone off at a run.
I'd like to stay here and talk more, but I do have to go be the victim. I do have various preparations to make for tomorrow.
Yes, of course. Must be a big responsibility, representing our entire country. I wish you the best of luck.
Naruhodo.
I'll probably be dead tomorrow.
Oh, you're super the victim, okay?
You don't need to wave a red death flag. He's wearing it around his neck.
I hope you'll keep an eye on Susato for me. Keep looking after her as you obviously have been.
Oh, no. I mean, if anyone's looking after anyone, it's her looking after me.
Well, I do appreciate you being there for her. After all, I've been a miserable father to her. I've thoroughly let her down.
Sorry, what do you mean?
Well, it was... Oh, skip this. Per dialogue probably isn't important. Well, it was 16 years ago that I started my long study tour here in Britain, as you know.
The very
year Susato was born.
Yes, I heard.
The birth of my daughter was the most joyous event of my life, but... Well, sadly, it was accompanied by the most tragic event of my life, too.
Oh, yes. Susato-san hinted at something like that.
I'm Susato. Susato think. It was a rather turbulent time at home.
Anyway, I won't bore you with the details. The point is, I became rather less dependable than benefits a grown man. And it was then that Seishiro offered me the opportunity to study here in Great Britain. I'm still here.
I was too worried about you to leave you behind. So, perhaps I was a little heavy-handed when it came to persuading you to accompany me to London.
So, that's what happened in a nutshell. And that's also the reason why I now feel compelled to give my daughter as many opportunities as I dare. Though the world does not readily afford young women such things, I must say.
I completely understand, Professor.
One other thing, Naruhodo. If I may be so bold, I have a favor to ask you.
Oh, really? Of course, with a whole extra letter. What can I do for you?
Well, the thing is,
Yes! What? Oh, it's
Oh
not
my
Beppo,
God.
it's the other one.
No.
I got so excited for half a
It's
second.
Mr. Horseshoe Mustache.
I'm so sorry that took so long.
Miss Susato. Hello.
Now then, allow us to take your bags.
I don't remember who played this guy.
Allow me to take your bag.
one moment if you please, Porter.
Of course, sir.
Why you got a flask?
That machine around your neck. It's a camera, I believe.
Quite right, sir. Just 5 shillings for a lovely photograph to commemorate a wonderful stay at the hotel, sir.
Love this I have a gun to my spine performance.
Well, I think given the occasion, we could justify the expense. And that way, after I'm killed in 6 minutes, you can have this photograph and look at it sadly.
And it will be evidence in the case to show
Yes,
what
we'll-
time.
We'll find a crucial clue here. It'll be wonderful.
Yes, of course.
Click. Aww.
Oh.
I'd like to thank you for coming with me, Mr. Naruhodo. It's really made Father very happy, I think.
Oh, well, I'm pleased then. But we were interrupted before. Professor Mikatoba was about to ask me something.
Shall we return to Baker Street then? I expect Iris will have some delicious tea waiting for us.
Yes, let's go. I'm getting more and more anxious about Kazuma, though. Perhaps I'll try to meet with Lord Strongheart later and ask after him. Look at all those chickens.
Pointing at flowers.
Nothing's actually happened. I'm just skimming.
That's glass, you idiot.
A chandelier, I believe.
Oh.
Yes, shiny.
Man, let that bellhop just take those bags upstairs.
Yeah.
It's gotta
poor
be heavy
guy.
after a while.
Oh, you! That
Please.
desk is known as the hotel reception.
Recepzione.
Reception! Oh.
Oh no.
I always love when you turn the corner and there's an NPC chilling in the background, like,
It's Tiny Paris.
It is.
Perfect for a vacation.
Oh, the awful tower.
Oh, it is the sorry, it is the Crystal Tower. I thought this was the Eiffel Tower.
No. 20-meter tall chimney and the bathhouse.
Whoa.
Bum, bum, bum,
Whoa.
bum, bum. Oh boy. They just talking about nothing.
Yeah, since there's no murder yet, I don't feel the need to read out the investigation dialogue. I'm just clicking around. I believe that's the rule we ended up using for the Layton game. All right, let's go.
Yeah. Makes sense. Because it's like cute dialogue, but like it does add minutes upon minutes.
Yeah. And like in a game where, like if we were traveling with a character who hello Kazuma's mask, I'm sure he's visiting. In a game where if we like had an assistant with us who we didn't normally get to talk to, like a guest party member, I'd do it. But like we already know Naruhodo and Susato. We like them already. Good luck. Oh my god, I hope it's the little German boy. What was that?
A man screaming in a most unflattering way?
Do you think, could it have been Mr. Sholmes?
Oh my, I do hope not.
Oh my god! Oh my god, that's
Right! Oh
I mean-
my god!
Oh, they're both Scottish. I mean, the one on the right is just the civest looking character I've ever seen in my whole fucking life.
Who wants to be the little lad?
I mean, since they've got Scottish accents, I would love to dive on that bullet.
Go
Alright,
ahead.
you be the little lad.
Alright. I think it's a girl. Alright, come here, moment. I'll do my.
They're French?
Gotta remember?
Italian and French?
No!
Oh my god!
I mean, I can do
I mean,
both, but
I mean, he can make them Scottish.
which one's which? This one's probably Italian, right? Okay.
What, the umlauts, or not the umlauts, the accents over the E, I don't know.
But like,
Well,
don't
if it's a
do it
don't-a,
anymore
yeah.
is Italian.
Yeah.
I don't do it anymore!
Mon ami, mon ami. Stop this disgraceful display, huh?
Who are these people? Look at their freakish hair! It's bright red! Freaks! Freaks, I say.
I think
Like holding a golf club.
I think they must be clients of Mr. Sholmes.
Oh god.
Amy, you ready to come back?
Sorry, Yam. I was trying to jump on all the accent bullets I could. Would you prefer
Alright,
the
you
Italian girl?
You're coming with me now. Down to the clink.
Not in prison. It is dark and damp, and I don't like it.
Oh, the darkness. It is my friend. I am not scared.
This is the Civist character I've ever seen. Civ, this is what I thought you looked like for like 3 years.
It can be.
Stretch you out in the taffy machine.
This is
dye
me
your-
once I get my scoliosis fixed.
Dye your hair red again.
I don't know what noise this is supposed to be, so
But you are always scared of the dark.
Shut your mouth, you idiot! I will sit quietly in the dark and plan our next darling heist. Darling heist.
I don't like this. I don't like it.
Well, tough. Wolfing is down at the yard. Now get moving.
oh my god, it's the worst Jesse and James.
Bye then, Ginny. Have fun.
Look at these idiots!
Oh yeah, thanks, Iris. And thanks, yeah, great detective.
There they go.
Wow.
Imagine if they were not important.
God, I'd cry. I would cry. What's the waste? Gina makes a fine detective herself, doesn't she?
I mean, in fairness, if this were a trilogy, I could buy those guys being earlier cameos like fucking Shamspear was in the first game, where he shows up once and goes, ooh, and then leaves.
Makes loud peacock noise.
I will now.
Hello, Iris. We're home.
Well, did you find your daddy? Yes, we arrived at the hotel just, I missed that. Sorry, there was
Sorry.
something
Just
weird went
before
on.
he and his friends.
Oh, I see. Hold on. Well, that's great news. I hope I'll get to see my daddy again soon. Yes, of course.
Dr. John H. Wilson. Probably you, Yam.
Oh, so Iris, all that remains now is the greatest of problems known to man.
Oh my fucking man, the Ronald McDonald color.
Oh no.
What have you-
It is infectious.
Did you wander into Howell's bathroom and get your hair fucked up?
You know what? You know what? This is the crime they're being arrested for.
But before we concern ourselves with that, I believe some tea is in order, don't you, my dear fellows? Something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, sorry, my scalp's been very itchy ever since I've met those Irish
And
folks.
even-
I think I have an eye rash.
Man, you even got your eyebrows. God damn. Do I have a crumb or such like on my face?
How thorough is that dye job, Shums?
Shut the fuck up, bro.
Not so much on your face as on your head, I'd say.
Come along then, everyone. I blew the tea. Let's get it.
Drinks from the pot.
Whatever is going on here today?
In that case, let us sit and drink now. For I am, in fact, expecting a guest later today.
A barber, I hope. Alright, sorry. I can't not look at this immediately.
Yeah.
Maybe we took it home. Alright.
Yeah. Right, he did give it to us.
Yeah, the mask Cosimo wore when he was assigned to Lord Van Zeeks as his apprentice. When he cast it aside after the trial the other day, I just sort of picked it up.
We ought to give it back to him, I suppose.
But he has his memory back now, doesn't he? And I can't help feeling he might turn round and tell me coldly to wear it myself.
But isn't he your best friend?
I have such issues, Susato. Hello, freak.
Explain. Shones, who are the two gentlemen that were here before?
Just a pair of petty criminals. Nothing of significance. Of course, they have to make a living somehow. And when the moon takes me, I'm willing to turn a blind eye to all manner of infractions.
When the mood takes you.
All manner of infractions.
But so when such fellows set their sights on Mr. Herlock Sholmes, well, that's when their luck runs out.
Oh my, you were the target of a crime, Mr. Shones.
Can't you tell?
But I quickly devised a plan to entrap them and deliver them to our young detective ally.
You should have asked Gregsy to come too. We could have had an arresting tea party.
I did send word, but no answer was forthcoming. The man is constantly in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's a word for that, I'm sure. Aha! I have it! A bungler! That's the word.
It's a good job he's not here to hear you say that. So, those redheads...
Amy, do you smell smoke?
No.
I smell smoke.
So those redheads had been up to no good? They were caught red-headed.
Oh, let me see if I can read it from here. I cannot. I wonder what the men did. I can't imagine.
What was that about the greatest of problems known to man that you mentioned before?
Oh, Jesus, my fucking eyes. Is it another fiendishly intricate case, Mr. Shones?
How should I best explain it? Are you aware of the theory of evolution by natural selection, perchance?
We are all of us going to evolve into redheads!
Actually, that's the opposite of what seems to be the case.
Yeah. I've taken the recessive gene of red-haired peoples and turned it into a dominant gene. I am some sort of Metal Gear Solid villain. Well, I think I've heard talk of it somewhere. Possibly.
The methamphetamines won't work on me anymore. They'll have to knock me out with something else.
Hammer!
It's a revolutionary scientific theory that was newly proposed 40 years ago now.
Trying to knock someone out with methamphetamines? A bold choice.
If I were to correct myself, I believe I meant opioids. My bad! According to its author, Mr. Darwin, we humans were once apes who lived in the treetops.
Wait, what? We were apes?
Indeed. And from the very moment those apes descended from the canopy to live as humans, it has been our lot to be at the mercy.
Starting with the hair.
It has been our lot to be at the mercy of the greatest problem known to man.
Our lot? What is this great problem, Mr. Shones?
Why is it not obvious, my dear madam? The problem of rent!
It's a terrible musical!
But did you not receive a rather large sum of money from Madame Tussauds only the other day?
A large sum? One potted herb for Iris and a new motor car for me later, and all of it has quite disappeared, I assure you.
You're fucking incorrigible.
Honestly, Hurley, you know you quite squandered it.
Yes, well, anyway, 2 days ago, I discovered the answer to man's greatest problem, for the coming month at least.
And what was the answer?
Why, there is a substantial clue right before your eyes.
Don't tell me. Oh, let me see.
Humans are sorry creatures, unable to see what is in front of their noses.
Oh, that reminds me, I'm forgetting a piece of my new ensemble.
Mustache.
That's better. That's going good.
Let me give you some assistance. Don't look, but observe me very closely.
Ryunosuke walks up and starts making out with him.
There's one particular feature about my person that has changed. You should notice it in the end, I think.
In the end? It's been stabbing me in both eyes right from the very beginning of our conversation.
I've had a nose job done. You missed it.
I think we might need another clue before we uncover the full answer, Mr. Naruhodo.
Thanks for the hint. I'll be tearing my hair out if this charade goes on much longer. Okay. Mr. Sholmes, isn't it about time you told us the truth? Just over a week ago, you said to us...
And I'll tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that.
Oh, he's frowning. That case aboard the SS Burya in January. Cosima wasn't killed, and you knew he wasn't dead at the time. So what was really going on?
Fellow was unconscious for a very long time. If he hadn't regained consciousness when he did, his life would have been in mortal peril. Of course, a side effect of the prolonged comatose state was amnesia, as you now know. It was a simple enough task to silence the crew.
But how?
After they'd carried him out of the cabin, I assembled them in the lobby area. And I made them swear to leave him unconscious and have him unlaid from the ship in Hong Kong as a murdered corpse.
How horrible.
It was necessary to find some material with which to persuade the crewmen to keep their word, of course.
But why? Why do it in the first place?
I will be at liberty to elaborate in due course. But for the time being, I would like to reassure you. I didn't foresee subsequent events.
What events?
His disappearance in Hong Kong.
Oh!
I believe I may have made a gross error of judgment.
Mr. Sholmes. Anyway, look at my funny hair! Real quick, I'm gonna wash out my smoothie cup before it hardens and becomes really annoying to clean.
Okay. We'll chat with chat.
Yeah,
Hello,
how you doing, chat?
Red mole, huh?
Red mole, huh? Ooh, you know what?
Red moon.
I need to see what Dulcie's special is tomorrow. All right, let's look together, shall we, chat? They haven't posted it yet. No, it's fine. It's just annoying. Oh.
I don't know, is there like a bottle of hair dye we need to find first? What is this?
That's his machinograph.
Oh.
Damn, this episode word crazy. Red Pat's off the shiz. That's every episode.
There were two of them.
Stradivarius.
So it's probably something to do with like his buttons or something.
Maybe. La 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 la. Let's see. Someone also mentioned a newspaper.
Newspaper on the couch, yeah.
Yeah.
This looks like last week's edition.
What's that article circled in red ink there? Actually, I was just using this to massage my scalp in a circle.
Weirdo. It's an advertisement column. It says, "To the Red-Headed League."
The Red-Headed League? What's that?
I don't know. I've never heard of it before, but...
Something on my face.
Well, technically...
Clearly this has something to do with that lively hair. We got it. I do think, I don't remember what the role was, but I do think I have read some book or seen some movie with a red-headed league in it. Some Sherlock Holmes something or other. because that's not the first time I've heard that. God, it feels nice to have an empty court
On
record.
account of the bequest of the late Ezekiel Hopkins of Lebanon, PA, USA, there is now another vacancy open which entitles a member of the League to a salary of £4 a week for purely nominal services. All red-headed men who are sound in body and mind above the age of 21 years are eligible. Apply in person on the morning of the 31st at the large park on Lime Street. Damn!
Oh.
If
That's how
£4.
you make money.
Oh, I probably just
Oh, you gotta
showed it to
present it.
her. I thought, like, my brain is still in court mode, so I was like, I need to get to the part of the conversation where she was like, we don't have a clue to proceed down this line of questioning yet.
No, that's fair.
It's a long...
My
How
neck
could this
hurt
happen?
thee.
I passed you.
Need a neck massage.
Here.
Ah, much better.
A bonka.
It looks as though someone circled an advertisement in this paper, Mr. Sholmes.
The Red-Headed League. Does that strike you in some way?
I was thinking that just maybe it might be related to your bright red hair.
So! At last you've learned to apply my methods, Mr. Naruhodo.
Sorry.
In the first instance, and quite indispensable, observation!
Believe me, I could have seen that hair with my eyes shut.
So then, allow me to regale you with the details of my latest exploits.
Regale or boast. Can't believe Will wrote an episode of this game. So, what is the Red-Headed League, which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you've circled?
You noticed it in the paper then? That, my dear fellow, was going to be the source of this month's rent payment!
It was. How?
According to the advertisement, the Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution of fellows of unspecified governance. In fact, the only condition for becoming a member is having red hair.
That doesn't entirely surprise me.
But listen to what the lucky redheads receive once they join.
Done!
An unconditional salary of £4 a week.
Oh my, £4 a week?
But why? What are they paying people for?
But I don't know. No details are given in the advertisement.
But surely every red-headed person in the country would be flocking to join in that case.
Someone, £4 in 1900 is roughly £500 today. Per week is £500 a month. That's a lot.
Or £2,000 a month.
I
Yeah,
can't
that's.
read.
You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I'll put in my application at once.
So will I. Just on the off chance.
That might be stretching a point, I think.
The trouble is, they have a fixed number of members, you see.
Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people have joined, no one else can.
As luck would have it, one member recently passed away.
Passes a
Yeah?
$20 bill to the two criminals. Good work, fellows.
It wasn't particularly lucky for the redhead in question.
Oh, that's me. So, you decided to try to join in his place.
Correct. I mean, look at me! Have you ever seen such a red-headed fellow?
No.
So why? Why did it have to go so wrong?
What on earth happened?
A blunder, Mr. Naruhodo, though it pains me to admit it.
What did you actually do to your hair, Mr. Sholmes?
I'm glad you asked, Mr. Sato. What you see atop my head is neither dyed nor a hairpiece.
Oh no.
What the fuck did you do then? I changed the color of my hair overnight. By
Well,
the
that's
wonders of chemistry.
That's
So
dye,
you dyed
motherfucker.
it.
So you dyed it.
Chemistry!
No, I'm quite.
The
I'm
devil!
quite alive.
conducting some research into the method of rejuvenating spent tea leaves.
A nice
And-
rooibos.
And in the course of my work, I stumbled upon a potion that, when taken, turns one's hair a flame-like red. Would you like to try it? It will make every hair on your body perfectly crimson.
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
I think I'll pass.
But, Mr. Sholmes, is it quite safe to drink? Surely it's bad for you, isn't it?
Amateurs are always hampered by such fears.
Oh, I should never have doubted you, Mr. Sholmes. You mean to say?
But of course. To earn £4 per week, one must be prepared to turn a blind eye to a little danger.
That degree of red signals more than just a little danger, surely.
So anyway, Hurley left full confidence yesterday with his new red hair. For the park on Lime Street, where the Red-Headed League were interviewing prospective new members.
So, what went wrong?
The whole park was choked with red-headed folk, like a coaster's orange barrow. I queued for 8 hours solid before at last I reached the front. But when the panel of interviewers saw me, they immediately said, "Ah, Mr. Enoch Sholmes! Are you in disguise to conduct an investigation?"
Oh. That's rough, buddy.
You dumb fucker.
So, naturally, I had no choice but to reply, "Shh! Don't give me away!" Afterward, I could do little else but turn and leave.
Stupid idiot.
And this morning, when I looked in the mirror, irritation stirred within me. So I turned that pair into the police.
Wait, you just arrested people out of spite?
Oh dear, what a disaster for Hurley and those two redheads.
What the fuck, Sholmes?
Sholmes is a piece of shit. I don't know if you've noticed.
Mr. Sholmes, you mentioned before that you were expecting a guest today.
Indeed, Mr. Zato, that is correct.
Not another of those red-headed gentlemen that were here before.
Not at all. They were petty villains. The guest I am expecting is a client.
Oh?
A young gentlewoman who wishes to appoint the services of this great detective, no less.
Oh, how wonderful, Mr. Sholmes. You have a job!
You must stay and observe the fashion in which great detectives receives his customers.
Must we?
I have you in my clutches now, Rent! Just as I have you in my clutches, redheads!
That hearty laugh is masking rather sinister thoughts, I feel.
Masking?
Yes.
You know, the lady isn't due for another hour yet. Don't feel as though you must wait around if you have other things to do.
Get out.
Alright, I take it that's a go to other places thing.
Should we try and visit Cosimo?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Hey, boys! Hi, boys!
I love when this fades away. Look at Van Zeek's perspective-wise is standing a little to the left of Lord Strongheart and looking to the left, so he's just like JoJo posing and looking past him awkwardly.
Here's the final draft of the opening address for tomorrow's proceedings. I've supplemented your original with the figures you asked for from the yard. I see. Excellent work. Thank you. You're welcome, my lord.
What's Lord Van Zeek's doing here?
He works here.
There seems to be an awful lot of tension in the air, wouldn't you say?
I meant, what's he doing here in the hours of daylight? This place is
Be
stifling
very
enough
careful.
as it is. We really don't need any more tension. Turn! Yeah, just...
My apologies. I didn't notice you come in. Your small stature and dark dress make you all but invisible to me.
Oh, no, it's entirely my fault for wearing black, I'm sure.
From now on, you must dress in white from head to toe whenever you come here.
Now then, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, my lord. I'm right here.
Oh, sorry, I missed you for a moment.
Hold his hand. It'll make you easier to find.
Kill me now.
There's a strange shadow in front of it. Oh, tangible. Is something wrong? Perhaps it's a little too hot in here for you.
Oh,
With
no.
all these handsome boys.
Oh, my God. It's just fully erect. Oh, no.
Moving on.
Not at
Moving
all.
on.
I mean,
Next bit, please.
I've never experienced a room at such a perfect temperature.
If you're sure, the beads of sweat carving their way down your face seem to suggest otherwise.
Because of the daggers you're staring at me with mainly.
As you're no doubt aware, my International Forensic Science Symposium begins tomorrow. In fact,
The best comment in chat. TOS. Terms of service.
oh, okay. In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today, I hear, madam.
Oh, yes, that's right, my lord.
Oh, sorry.
He's extremely honored to.
Hello, I am here now.
He's extremely honored to have been invited.
I'll leave the remaining preparations for the meeting room in your capable hands then, Lord Van Zeeks. I will attend at once.
Just slowly turns, looks at Naruhodo and looks him up and down. Not bad. Leaves.
He looks over. Hey, bitch.
Boo doo beep 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 beep.
He gave you a very cold stare as he left, didn't he?
Yeah, he's racist, Susan.
I lost my assistant, assholes.
Well, that's not our fault. I know.
It's totally your fault.
You brought us in to see him.
Shut up.
But I haven't done anything, have I?
These past few days, my feet have barely touched the ground, I must say.
I float 3 centimeters off of it at all times.
Courtesy of my pigeons. My dedicated right hand of many years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion.
What?
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your left hand still of service? Ryunosuke!
God.
Ryunosuke!
Are you...
Mr. Naruhodo! He is talking about Dr. Simon.
Your right hand comes off?
I'll kill you.
Ah! Of course! I am terribly sorry about that. I was just...
Fear not. You've done nothing wrong. Dr. Scythe's own wrongdoing precipitated the situation.
God, I would give anything for this guy never to be a villain or a victim.
Oh, I hope he's not a villain. It would be amazing. You needn't concern yourself with it any further.
That would be a lot easier to do if it weren't for the piercing stare you're giving me.
Lord Van Zeeks is doing an admirable job of holding the fort. Though, disturbingly, his apprentice has been missing since yesterday.
Oh, missing?
What's become of Kazuma-sama now?
Have you heard they're hiring redheads? Please stop talking to me. It's very important, sir.
Civ BRB.
Not long ago, visitor numbers to the Great Exhibition exceeded 30 million.
That's very impressive for the turn of the century.
Yeah, it
30
is.
million? Are there even that many people in the world?
As a comparison, Mr. Naruhodo, the population of the imperial capital Tokyo is 2 million.
I will be opening the International Forensic Science Symposium in the exhibition's main auditorium.
Holy shit, how did you swing that real estate?
This event has been 2 years in the making, 2 years of preparations and negotiations with other countries.
Sounds like a tremendous achievement. Congratulations.
The 20th century will see the wholesale adoption of forensic investigation techniques, and cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential.
Watch the way his mouth moves when his dialogue is running. Can you imagine just standing stock still and only moving your lips like an animatronic? It's very funny to me.
Which is why this landmark first symposium had to be hosted here at the heart of our great British Empire in order that Scotland Yard can become the leading investigative organization in the New World.
He's the same as ever, I see. That passion of his is quite something.
The old world's pronouns will become was, were, courtesy of me.
Not sure he knows what a pronoun is.
You're every bit as passionate in your own way, I'm sure, Mr. Naruhodo.
No, he isn't.
I'm the only person in this country who truly cares about a future that embraces forensic science. It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General and reform the Yard from the ground up. So, the disgrace of the forensic investigation team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions.
Let's talk about how I fucked you over, I'm sorry.
I first established the forensic investigation team a year ago, experimentally to start with. With Dr. Scythe at the helm, it was steadily accruing an impressive record of achievements. I was on the verge of changing its name and elevating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department.
Damn, dude, I'm sorry. And can you not do that now?
Obviously. Nobody wants to hear anything about it at the moment. Even I can't keep this story out of the papers. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. This incident will set back our country's advancement in the field by a good 10 years, I'd say.
Unintended repercussions of our trial.
Oh, she's still gone. We simply couldn't have overlooked what had happened, though.
Of course not. We should all be grateful to you both. Anyway, I'll still reform this country's policing when I become Attorney General. This might delay my plans, but it won't alter them. Nothing will stand in my way.
God, I really hope he makes it to the end of this game.
What did I miss?
Nothing. He was just like, yup, shit sucks. This'll probably put my plans back by 10 years. And we're just like, ooh.
Oof, bud, sorry.
About Lord Van Zeeks' apprentice. Dead.
Ah, yes, that came as a surprise to me, I must say, that you and he are old friends.
How did he become an apprentice to Lord Van Zeeks in the first place?
It came about 3 months ago.
Oop, sorry. It's a weird one. Oh, it was just dots.
Yeah. An unidentified Asian man was apprehended by border police. They found him hiding aboard a large goods vessel.
Oh my. So he stowed away to get here?
Yes, thankfully he wasn't on a bad's vessel. He had no papers to identify him, no passport, and he was suffering from amnesia too.
Thankfully, he wasn't on a bad's vessel. You can always identify them by the unique noise their steam horn makes.
Other than the fact he was clearly of Eastern descent, there were no clues as to who he was. So I decided to assign him to Lord Van Zeeks. That way, I could keep an eye on him.
Crazy move.
That's pretty racist of you, Strongheart.
Is it?
Yeah. Hey man, let's send this guy who's clearly Asian to be watched by the guy who's clearly racist against Japanese people.
Oh, I guess. I would call that stupid more than racist. Frankly, I think giving him a job in a legal position when he doesn't know who he is and seems to be mute is a very strange prospect at all. But then why the mask?
I didn't want to burden Lord Van Zeeks with tiresome explanations about why he had an Eastern apprentice.
What? Because it would be so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask. That's so dumb! That's very dumb!
The British are far more accepting to quirkiness than races, so yes.
Ooh, now that's racist. By the way, do you know where he's gone? I just said no, idiot.
No idea, but I believe he's left London for the time being.
Oh,
I take it you also didn't know that the man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals, I mean.
Genshin Asagi. What we learnt from that trial 8 days ago was a huge shock. Finding out my friend's father was...
Ah, yes, Genshin Asagi. He made
Yes,
quite an impact
we-
in our country.
Shut up, but I'd still fuck it.
The Professor case 10 years ago caused a great stir here in Britain.
They were possible murders. Unprecedented. Unprecedented. Using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon.
Am I the only one who's getting, like, muffled, Civ?
Oh,
Every,
maybe.
every once in a
that
while.
line.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me.
Maybe my core.
And no one would have believed the culprit was a foreign student invited to study here by the government.
Someone said you guys should switch characters just for one stream. Maybe if one of these cases ends up being, like, really long in the middle, once we've already met everyone, we can all swap just for funsies.
okay.
So the true identity of the killer couldn't be made public then, and can't be made public now. Nobody in your country knows it was him, and neither do the citizens of London.
The main motivation was to avoid aggravating relations between our two nations at the time, I understand.
Correct. However, it has to be noted that there were some supporters of the professor's apparent cause.
What was his fucking cause?
Well, he was killing members of the aristocracy, so probably being a good dude was his cause.
Yes.
Supporters of a mass murderer?
The majority of the man's victims were a blight on the aristocracy of the day.
Did you know
Somewhat
how
ironically.
racist Van Zieks' family is? He's the good one.
Somewhat ironically, the deaths actually benefited society as a whole.
Is ironically the word you're looking for there, or...
Or so a fair few thinkers in London believed anyway.
Right, I see. But it was still murder, wasn't it? Let's talk about moral moral complexities.
It seems very similar, doesn't it? To the idea of the Reaper of Will.
Does it? Oh. Alright. Goodbye.
Anyway.
I have
Bye.
nothing else to say to you people.
We can try.
Why are we here? Did you forget something?
Okay.
Have you read the newspaper?
Oh.
Aw,
Aww.
a little desk. My desk is just as
Sorry,
it was before.
I'm not
I
actually
left.
gonna read it out loud.
No!
Dun dun.
A little orang.
This is to keep Van Zieks from getting in our window at night.
True.
Do you guys have a fish?
Bastards.
Oh, the sea life. Seem very content here.
I found this very curious fish and I've been taking care of it since. Susato, that's a bat.
Let me back to
Splendid.
my master.
But he has these very large fins on the side. Those are wings.
Those are wings, Susato.
Alright.
Oh. Do you think he'd like an orange?
Yeah, your desk is a mess, bud.
Bum, 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 bum.
I can't beat her in an argument, even though I'm the lawyer here. You know, before the first case of this game, I would have said the only reason she's not a lawyer and a better lawyer than you is because she was born a woman. But we've seen her in court now, and she's kind of not very good at it.
Can't handle the pressure.
Can't handle the moon.
The moon. Ding-a-ling!
Aha! There's my guest now, my latest client with money to spend.
Oh, fuck, sorry.
I do hope something. I do hope it's an exciting case, Hurley.
Remember, Iris, we are at present griped by the greatest problem known to man. I must be willing to accept any case, no matter how unstimulating. Save locating a runaway, of course.
A what?
Don't spare anyone's feelings, will you?
Oh dear. I'm afraid that Hurley can lack a little tact, especially just before the rent is due. Ow!
Oh, it's you!
Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Herlock Sholmes, please, oh please! Please find my husband! He's run away!
You upset me.
I beg your pardon.
Never mind, a personal matter. My apologies. What exactly are you trying to say, Mr. Naruhodo?
I didn't say a word.
Come, my dear madam, be seated. Iris, some tea, if you please.
Of course.
What's the matter,
Walking on
Miss
hands.
Sato?
Oh, it's just that gentlewoman. I feel sure I've seen her somewhere before, very recently.
Oh,
good.
hey, we got a raid from Brandon McInnes. Thank you, Brandon.
Oh, thank you and welcome.
Little
Hello.
doggies.
Little
What's
dogs.
his- Hey, various raiders, let me know what his Twitch handle is so I can friend him and raid back in the event.
Bran McKee, right
Bran
there.
McKee, there you are. Hello.
Banned.
I would not do that. Why would you do that?
That would be terrible.
All right, let me also just follow so I can see when you're doing stuff.
Pipe bomb.
Yeah, Raiders in chat. No spoilers. We haven't finished this game.
Oh yeah, we don't know
Yes.
anything at all. Yeah, thank you for the
yep.
raid.
Never. Who is this lady?
Yes, now that you come to mention it. I'm a painting. Evie!
Evie. As I explained earlier, my name is Evie Vigil. Oh my goodness. I implore you to take the case, sir. Money is no object. Simply name your figure.
Money and wealth are of little consequence to me, madam. Being offered a case to solve is reward enough.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you are the perfect picture of benevolence.
I will, of course, make a mental note of your offer, however, for contingent reasons.
Contingent.
Contingent reasons, thank you.
You're welcome.
Just you'll remember your words also.
My name is Evie Vigil, daughter of Vaporeon Vigil.
If I might inquire, sir, this gentleman and lady would be.
Oh, me?
What I'm about to tell you, I should like to communicate in the strictest confidence. You understand?
These are my friends. I assure you, you may say before this pair anything which you may say to me.
I.
I can vouch for the gentleman personally, after all.
He is my boyfriend. What?
He's hard of hearing.
Why did I ever get my hopes up? Sholmes would be impossible to live with.
Absolutely. I mean, it makes sense that he can only live with a child.
Forgive me for asking, Mrs. Vigil, but have we met somewhere before? Quite recently, perhaps? Are you just being, like, coy about it? This was yesterday, dude.
Well, it was just like
That
a
was
week
8
ago.
days ago. It was
It
like
was
a week ago.
yesterday.
Same thing. Oh my.
My dear fellow, what is your intention? Clearly you have no ability to differentiate the facial features of the English. If you wish to invite the lady to tea, you must do so in a more gentlemanly fashion.
Sit down, bitch.
Is it possible that you're the nice young lawyer from that trial I attended last week?
Ah, I knew I recognized her.
It was that old man with the gun.
I would have let you read that just because it had the words, oh gosh, oh golly.
Oh, golly.
I didn't quite recognize her because she's acting so differently now, is she?
It must be very difficult for you as a lawyer. Being hard of hearing, I mean.
It is quite difficult.
Pardon?
Oh, dear. I'm so sorry. Don't worry if you can't hear. It was frippery, really. Nothing more.
Frippery. What a fun word.
Now look what you've started, Mr. Sholmes. Thank you very much.
I believe it would be prudent for you to sit quietly in the corner.
Yes, Dad.
Hold on a moment. I keep needing to readjust Amy's volume.
Tell us about your husband, madam.
He is very handsome. He is very handsome. He is...
Oh, it's daily and evening vigil. Okay.
Oh, that's cute. Mr. Fitchell, my daily, is 40 years of age. I have a photograph here.
Oh, I don't know about that haircut.
Oh, kiddo.
Oh, he's
got 40.
He got a haircut like a pre-time skip 3 Houses boy. It does not look good.
An entirely unremarkable gentleman, by appearance at least. How long have you been married?
2 days. Oh, it will be 15 years this year. We have a cordial relationship, and my husband's income is more than adequate, so we live quite comfortably.
As it would appear. I need only to look at you to know these things.
Oh, gosh!
Your dress is the latest style. Your hat clearly regularly groomed, and your eyes are animated.
We're all animated.
In short, you have no inkling as to why your husband might have disappeared, correct?
I have no inkling at all. All I found was this note that reads one word. Warmy.
God damn. That's right. He's a kind man with a strong sense of loyalty, and he rather dotes on me.
Which would point out the possibility that he has become embroiled in some incident or other.
Oh, that is exactly why I fear. What I fear must happen, Mr. Sholmes. I'm quite beside myself. My husband's employment is somewhat unusual, you see. What if he's incurred some miscreant's ill will?
Exactly as your husband's line of work.
Oh, he's a dog thrower.
I thought you were going to say, oh, he's a dog. He's a warder at the prison.
Oh, maybe he's the Scottish guy. No, okay, he's not the warden. He's a warder. A guard. That is somewhat unusual. I don't know. I don't think I'd call that a super unusual job.
So, your husband is a prison warder.
That's right, yes. Well, in actual fact, the chief warder.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Indeed. I see. Well, chief prison warder certainly qualifies as something of a specialist occupation.
Yes, it does indeed. My poor husband must prepare those dreadful punishments and see that they're carried out.
Dreadful punishments? Does she mean capital punishments?
And at such times, he must occasionally spend a night or two in the prison dormitory. But for that extra responsibility, he has right, this one.
Right,
again.
it should be remunerated.
Remunerated more handsomely than the other warders. Of course, we make no mention of my husband's work to the neighbors.
Yes, I believe your prudence is justified. Tell me, at what prison is your husband engaged?
The only one in London.
He's engaged to me!
Me!
Really? Barclay? Oh, a fine establishment. If I'm not mistaken, there's a large cemetery just behind it.
Yes, that's correct. Lowgate Cemetery.
Ugh, no! No! Lowgate Cemetery? The very place we were discussing in court? That's unbelievable! Why are you reacting this way?
Bruv, you okay?
Unbelievable, my dear fellow, and yet undeniable.
I'm shitting and farting!
Sorry, Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid you've lost me.
Ah, my friend here sometimes shits and farts when he is surprised.
It's not very gentlemanly like.
Next bit, please. Pay no heed, madam, pay no heed. A private matter.
This can't really be a coincidence, can it?
Oh my god, in chat, shilling and farthings.
Yeah.
So, to the matter of your husband's disappearance. When did you realize he was missing?
My husband is missing?
Please, try not to laugh. It was yesterday.
I'm sorry. Yesterday?
That really is recent. Laughably so. Ha 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 ha!
Little man, stop laughing at me!
Someone in chat. Becky, let me shit.
Move.
The truth is, my husband does at times have occasion to spend the night away for his work. It's not at all out of the ordinary for him to not return home at night, but this is different. For him not to make any contact for a whole day! That has certainly never happened before. Oh, my dear Daly, whatever could have happened?
My dear Mrs. Vigil, please calm yourself. Now then, have you contacted the police?
Why, naturally, but sadly...
They were the police!
They were the police! They refused to listen to my pleas, and my husband has only been missing for 1 day.
But sadly, the man who picked up the phone seems rather incompetent. Hello there. Oh, your husband is missing, is he? Well, I'll just...
Give me that! No, we won't take the case!
Great sound effect.
I was asked to wait patiently at home.
I don't even know why someone in chat says this, but it's always fun. Bex, I love you, Bex.
You Bix. Bix, you know I love you.
Bex, where would you go?
What else would you do?
In truth, Miss Vigil, I concur with the police.
But I need
Fuck
money.
you, I'll take my leave then.
However, let us not be hasty. I see no reason why we should not engage my deductive powers to track your husband down anyway.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes.
And furthermore, let me assure you, a chance to solve the greatest problem known to man for another month has no bearing on my decision. I seek only to put a sweet smile on another Londoner's face. That's really all there is to it.
You have my eternal gratitude. I shall pay any sum you care to mention.
You seek only to put this sweet's rent in your landlady's purse. That's all there is to it. We know.
Shut up.
You live here too, Naruhodo.
You live here too. Like, if he loses the rent, you're out. You're in the doghouse as well. Also, like, Naruhodo, not to be shitty, I know that you were, like, barred from law practice for half a year for stupid reasons that barely make sense. But, like, you didn't get a job in the interim, so,
You don't
like...
know that. He sold fruit on the side of the street.
Thank you for everything you have shared with us, Mrs. Vigil. I believe I have all the information I need to begin my investigation.
Really?
Please report to me soon with good news, sir.
Fear not, madam.
I shall
In
fear.
a day or two, I shall be contacting you with a heartening report, I'm quite sure.
Oh, so soon. Oh, how splendid, Mr. Sholmes.
Good news should be delivered early, I always say. If you would be so kind as to leave your photograph of your husband in my possession.
That way my friends and I may roast him at our leisure. Gross. Ugly. He
We'll
appears...
throw darts at him from across the room.
He appears to have no distinctive facial features. You really think so?
I mean, is a hairstyle a facial feature?
It might as well be.
Thank you. Now, allow me to show you to the door.
Oh, this is where it is.
Oh my.
Your door looks
Can't
rather
thank
like
you
a
enough,
short
Mr.
Asian
Sholmes.
man.
No.
You've been simply marvelous. Goodbye.
She went through me and disappeared.
You know, I think every time, Hurley. I think it's every time, Hurley. But how do you come out with such nonsense? Good news in a day or two? Are you sure?
I can't be sure, of course, but then I didn't swear on it.
Wow.
I merely gave the good woman some hope. I hope to be able to give her good news, one might say. After all, the rent must be paid by the end of day tomorrow. If by that time I've successfully located Mr. Vigil, we shall be mutually relieved.
This game is about classism.
Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo?
Don't look at me with them big old eyes.
Well, my dear fellow, did you hear the details of the case?
Yes, my hearing is surprisingly good, actually.
Positively pleasant.
Positively pleasant.
Excellent! And what did you make of it?
Well, I was surprised to learn where her husband worked. At Barclay Prison, I mean.
Ah, so you noted that.
Jones, did you kidnap her husband to drag her into this? Huh? Of course, especially with the mention of Lowgate Cemetery.
Oh, thank God. Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison, so it was renowned among our students at the university for being haunted by ghosts of condemned convicts. No, come back.
I blow kisses. Barclay Prison is where that notorious man was incarcerated.
The professor.
No warder from the prison has mysteriously disappeared, it would seem.
It's all very peculiar.
Indeed. But nothing you can't handle, I'm quite certain, Mr. Naruhodo.
Becky, come back. You can blame it all on me.
Sorry.
Run along to the prison and see what you can glean, would you? It's the prison governor you want. No doubt the man is equally worried.
But aren't you going to go yourself?
Surely you needn't ask. I can't possibly be seen with this hair!
You already did.
I
You
look
were
like an
already outside.
Irishman!
Oh my
We
god.
can't have that. Oh!
But didn't you go to Lime Street with that hair?
That was quite a different matter. So, I leave it in your capable hands. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm rather busy.
God, Sholmes, you are a garbage person.
This is the fucking worst.
He becomes less respectable as the games go on. I like him less as a person.
Of course you are. I'll kill him.
I will do as little work as possible and take all of the credit. Ah!
Yo, the ultimate final case, Iris kills Sholmes. and
I'm
you
in
have to-
charge now.
and your entire job is to make sure she doesn't get convicted.
Lie for her.
I think that would be fun. Barclay Prison is on the outskirts of London, backing onto a lonely burial ground. Its 4 high outer walls loomed quietly before us in the fog. Having requested a meeting, we were shown into the governor's office in the watchtower. Eve, oh my god.
I love the clock. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So, Chad has been screaming that Will must play this character.
And he's Scottish, because he's got a Kane there.
Oh no, he's Scottish?
Just think about Rhonda. Just think about Rhonda, but make her a buff man.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
can I do it? Good luck,
This
lad.
place is full of hardened criminals. I can even remember the last time a civilian was doing here. And you deny want to talk to an inmate but me. Boy, this is gonna be rough.
Yeah.
Do it.
That's Armstrong. That's Armstrong, Full Metal Alchemist.
The fucking, is it Knockout Dudley from Street Fighter? What's his name?
Oh, yeah, it is. Jello, you can do it. It's up to Will.
I mean, you've been wanting a Scottish guy for a while.
I do. I love doing Scottish accents.
Do you ken who I am? I'm the
It'll take me a minute to get into it because it's gonna start as Irish or British. Very Candon. You don't know. Oh yes, it's a pleasure. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer. I hate that this is still how I have to get into it, but if you had the chance to change your fate, all right, yeah, no, there it is.
And an Easterner, I see. This is a pirate boy.
I mean, that's pretty much it.
Wait a minute, Jello, didn't you recently get a cool job as a pirate?
I did. I play Petey, the little robot pirate in Meta Runner Season 3. It's honestly a really fun role. Thanks, Will. That's Irish pirate. I'll get there. Once there's more Kens and Danaes in there, I'll be able to get it. There's a character in Cold Steel, actually named Becky, who has this accent, and she's like a character I always read out loud because I fucking love her. Nidata! I'm a visiting student of law from the Empire of Japan. Just had the worst idea. Just cursed voice. No one can get this character right. Every line of dialogue, we just go through and switch off who reads it. Active nightmare.
Did you say Japan?
All right, let's go in the order. Me, Civ, William. So that was.
Oh no.
And each text box changes. We'll try it. It'll be awful. Oh.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, there's not any of your kind in here, laddie. Maybe you should try the prison next door, eh?
I didn't notice another prison next door, sir.
Anyway, we came to.
I didn't like to be so direct, but
I've no intention of speaking with you like some suspicious-looking Easterner.
My fucking God!
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? God damn it! Every time, even when we rotate the voice, are you fucking kidding me? Every time! Unreal.
It's so
sorry. Now get out of me hair.
As soon as
couldn't get out of me hair, could I?
God, that might be the hardest I've laughed this entire playthrough.
If you had a chance to change your fate, would you? Yeah!
you fucking would!
Fucking would, wouldn't you? Fucking 90! So as soon as he finds out we're from Japan...
It's
Mingen!
It's fucking Mingen!
That surely means he's racist.
I think it's because of the proof mess again.
He might just be racist, guys! You think so too? 10 years ago, Genshin Asugi, also known as the Professor, invented racism at this prison. And then, after his execution, he apparently re-emerged from his grave to unvent racism in the cemetery behind the prison.
That's you, Jello!
Okay,
It's
thank
your
you.
turn.
I'm so thrown off by the last couple lines. I might have known.
You're sniffing around about the case, are ya?
Oh, your agents, eh? Part of the Professor's great web, no doubt.
No, not at all. We're just...
Hey, go on with you before I punch your lights out.
We're going. Clearly, the ghost of that killer still haunts this place. We're not going to get anywhere here, unless we can somehow prove to this man that there's nothing suspicious about us.
Governor Caden?
What are you thinking, Miss Susato?
I feel so sure that name came up in a conversation recently somewhere. I was wondering if whoever mentioned him might have some ideas to help us.
Come to think of it, I have the same feeling.
I need to take a fucking breath, man. I need to... Why has he got so many prison bars on his outfit? Will.
Unreal.
Oh, Papa, you're reading a paper.
Yes, it says here Will's racist.
No!
That's not news!
No! It's not my fault! It's not!
Like, do you remember at the end of the second investigations game when you were doing those horrendous voices for Will Powers, and I saw that there's like a line where he's like, "Sorry, I'm a little stinky," and I saw the text and just like immediately saw the events that would happen in the next 20 seconds. And that happened again with that line, and it was even better than I could have anticipated.
God.
Hello, you two. I was just taking a moment to catch up on the world now that I'm unpacked.
But where's Judge Jigoku?
Yes.
Oh, he's dead.
He's not the relaxing sort. He's taken himself off to pay his respects to all the legal bigwigs.
Having only just arrived in the country today? Goodness,
He is full of energy.
Professor, You mentioned something before about how you'd known the prison governor at Barclay Prison.
Oh, Governor Caden, you mean?
So it is the same man.
Yes, he's got that very strange voice that's only racist 25% of the time.
We must speak with the governor. But he refused to talk to us. He said we were suspicious Easterners.
Well, I'm sure if I accompanied you, it would be a very different story.
Oh, would you? Oh, would you? Papa, that would be wonderful if you have time now.
Sadly, as you can see, I'm very busy at the moment.
Motherfucker, you're reading the news.
Busy drinking coffee on a comfortable settee? Is that how you say that word?
I think it's seedy.
Seedy.
Now, I have rather a lot to prepare for tomorrow, you know.
Oh,
My brain thought that you literally just went, no, I gotta.
Begins chewing on a toy.
oh, sorry. I didn't say that out loud, did I? You Mikotobas are alarmingly good at reading people's thoughts.
Oh, it could be that you Narutos are alarmingly bad at hiding your thoughts.
Let's not fall out now. I have an idea. Whisper, whisper, whisper.
What's he writing down on that piece of paper?
Paper, become written. Here's a letter of introduction for you. Hopefully, when he sees my name, he'll change his tune.
Thank you. He tends to change his tune quite frequently, actually.
Good luck, then. Anyway.
Pop, take a seat.
Okay. Oh, man.
So fucking funny, dude.
Shame we're still playing, since that's the obvious high point of today. Don't remember who it was.
It's you, Jello.
Alright. Civ goes. Oh, right, I have to fucking send him this. If you just cast your eyes over this, Governor Caden.
What's this then? You can ain't pull the wool over my eyes, you good for nothing Japanese student.
Civ, you could have offset that. It was Jello's turn.
You could change your fate, would you?
Alright, okay. How about we change the order? I will go where
No,
he goes instead.
no, it won't matter.
Let's see.
It won't matter.
See.
It won't matter.
No, you are just setting me up. You are setting me up. You're just like, all you're doing is you pulled the trigger once on the revolver, like, no, I'll spin it again. It's a bad idea. Just let's do it.
Toba.
That young jock from the forensics laboratory, that Mikatoba.
Yes, exactly, him. He.
Oh dear, perhaps I should have said something sooner. I'm Eugene Mikotoba's daughter, Susato.
It's you, Civ.
Oh, it's me! Dings, you're the young man's daughter!
And you didn't know anything to mention that before.
Yeah, deny is just did not, so it's just did not.
Yeah. No.
I do apologize.
Hi, well, you best take a seat then. Can I offer you a cup of tea, perhaps?
And did I forget to try one of these wee handcuff biscuits?
Handcuff biscuits. Your father's influence is nothing short of amazing.
I'm bitterly regretting not announcing who I was from the outset now.
I think it's Civ.
Yeah.
Okay, so, oh fuck, what do Scottish people sound like? I don't remember.
It's so hard to jump in.
What can I do for you, hen?
Well, we're currently investigating a case.
It's one of your warders, see. He's gone missing.
Missing?
That's right. It's surely been reported to you as well, being the prison governor.
Haven't heard nothing of the sort. There's no missing persons in my prison.
Oh,
But how can that be?
it's Mr. Daily Vigil, your chief warder.
Aye, Vigil.
That's right. His wife came to us and asked us to investigate his disappearance. Let's skip the part about him only going missing for yesterday for now. Clearly that means something to him.
Would you be so kind as to tell us what you know, sir?
Aye, of course.
Here we fucking go. We understand that Mr. Vigil is the chief warder here at the prison.
Aye, that he was.
All sense of responsibility. Dedicated to the job, no doubt about it.
Oh, good.
Fine warder. I'm having a trouble.
I feel ya.
Sorry, did you say was?
Aye, he does no work here no more. He left the job.
What? Oh my.
When was this exactly?
There's a question. When was it about? Can it have been much less than swipe?
10 years ago now.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, wifey.
Do you think his hair is red and he's been getting money from that society?
Maybe.
Also, I think that's correct because that's ringing some sort of distant bell about whatever this story was that I originally read. 10 years ago.
He's dead.
He stopped working here 10 years ago. Oh, you're right.
Wait, what?
As I mind it. Dear Ken, I haven't heard his name in all that time. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's a worry if he's gone missing, though.
But Mrs. Vigil made no mention of it.
I think perhaps Mr. Naruhodo that his wife simply doesn't know. I think she's unaware that he no longer works there.
Governor Caden, can you tell us what happened? Why did Mr. Vigil give up his job here?
That's unimportant, is it? Oh, that's important, is it?
Yes, I believe it may be. Probably gave up the job after he fucked up the professor execution.
Ah, yeah.
What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo?
I can't help wondering, given that it was 10 years ago, which was exactly when the professor was being held at this prison.
Aye, he's a professor.
12 years ago.
10 years ago.
So, Mr. Vigil actually resigned from the position of chief warder 10 years ago, you're telling us. What happened to make him leave the job?
Ellipsis. In actual fact, he didn't leave the job willingly. He had no choice in the matter.
You mean he was dismissed?
Like you are, goodbye then.
It was after a particular walk.
Sorry, a walk?
Aye, that's our word for it on here. A walk to the gallows.
And an execution. I don't know why I'm also doing this now.
It's the job of the chief warder to prepare the gallows tree and oversee any executions, you see.
Only, Vigil did something unthinkable on the last walk he was manning.
What did he do?
Sorry, but I cannot reveal the information. I can't do it, man. I'm
No,
having
it's cool.
Accent.
I can't! It's not connecting in my brain. I will sit here.
Well, don't worry. I'll. It's become a survival game. Yam has opted out. Who will be the final king?
Listen, I've already
been killed.
Listen, I feel like 3 strikes, I'm out. If this motherfucker gives me another racist line, I'm out.
All right.
But I can tell you that it's very rare for a chief warder to be relieved of his post.
But why wouldn't Mrs. Virgil know about it? She appears to be under the impression that her husband still works here.
I wouldn't get anything about that, I'm afraid.
I'm afraid.
I'm afraid the trick to this is to read all of Train Spotting out loud, and then by the end of it, you can do this accent.
I don't know what that is.
You would not enjoy it.
You
I
like
don't
look for
imagine I would.
trains.
No. Can you perhaps answer one more question about the circumstances of his dismissal?
His what?
What did I say? I
Dismissal?
don't fucking know.
His little
Dismissal?
His dismissal.
Just a little one. And what would that be, Hen?
Hen.
It's very cute.
Last execution that Mr. Vigil was responsible for. Was it by any chance the professor's?
My thoughts exactly.
I'm sorry. I really am. But I'm no at liberty to answer that.
I see. My father came to Britain all those years ago in order to study forensic medicine. But you seem to have been well acquainted. The dead room.
No, it's Sid.
Oh no,
yeah.
it's me!
It's you.
The dead room, the prison, and the cemetery have a lot to do with one another.
After all, they need fresh corpses for forensic research, you know.
Yes.
Found a way!
I can imagine.
Nature has find a way. The advancement
Who
of
else
medical
was
science
Scottish
is
and was
all-
in a bunch of racist movies back in the 60s? I know.
The advancement of medical science isn't always particularly palatable.
Your father... Man, see, now, Will, you've got something on me, because I cannot do a Sean Connery to save my life.
Your father worked in the laboratory just on the far side of the graveyard.
In the basement of St. Sinners, it's still in use today.
Saint Sinners. That's come up before, I'm sure.
Yes, that's right. We've been there.
We get told when I have to use the ride in a carriage together and negotiate terms.
For more fresh material, I suppose.
Aye, and we used to sit in here for hours and gob on about dissection and all sorts. Oh, takes me back.
Over a pot of tea and a plate of cough biscuits, of course. How charming.
We are getting better at it.
We are getting better. That's all it took.
I'm so proud of you guys.
He was a good fella, your father. Reliable. He did shit on his work.
I'm honestly comfortable just giving it to Will. I love this one.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Now watch the
Your
next
character
line.
arc!
But I'm afraid
That I'm gonna say something racist.
Oh, it's brewing. It's going to be controversial. No! It's not fair! It's not fair! It's like genuinely upsetting. How does this keep happening? I'm a noodle, I swear!
So just Jello, you
What
ass.
the fuck?
King Midas of racism.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna piss!
I'm a good noodle, I swear.
Well,
Oh my god.
well, can I buy you like a box of chocolates as an apology for something?
Oh my god!
Oh god, no.
Wait, hang
it's-
on. Maybe he's gonna say like, "I'll never understand you, Japanese. You're so dutiful and wonderful."
I'll never understand you, Japanese.
Because of Jen Shinasuke, I suppose. Oh no, that's
my
the end of the
God.
conversation. Will, can I please buy you chocolates? Only if they're white chocolate.
God.
I will personally make sure there are no white chocolates.
Oh
That's
my
pretty
God.
discriminating.
There's no such thing as reverse racism!
Shut the fuck up, Whitey.
Amy!
Today my girlfriend called me Whitey. Alright.
I cannot tell you anything else.
Thank you so much for your time, Governor.
Oh, one moment for you. You're away, Ken.
Oh, you have an axe on your side. Whoa, okay.
I'm sure I have it here somewhere.
This guy definitely hunts. He's woodsy.
Ah, found it. Here. Take this wee souvenir of your visit to the prison.
You're in cell 58.
Oh, okay. Thank you. What is it?
That's Vigil's dismissal notice. It's 10 years old now, of course.
Oh my, are you sure?
Aye, it's no trouble at all. It's not the original, mind.
Thank you very much, Governor Caden.
Well, in return,
Goodbye.
I'll give you a 10-second head start. Do me a favor and never come back here. That case is closed.
Can you imagine if they put all this work into this guy's office and character model and he never showed up again?
That would be
Well, I
insane.
think we ought to return to Baker Street for the time being.
Yes, I agree. We need to report back to Mr. Sholmes with what we found out about Mr. Vigil.
We found out he's racist!
Well, I could have told you that myself.
That man.
Why do you think I didn't go?
You're gonna look around the office?
Yeah, I guess I should. I don't see anything of note in here. Ah, look. We have an opportunity here now while the governor is away. Oh.
Mr. Naruhodo, you could be imprisoned if you were caught.
That's a good point. Perhaps not then. Okay, so we can't examine the office, which means that we're definitely coming back here later.
Okay.
Oh, this isn't okay, but leafing through the fucking forensic files was fine.
Yeah, that was for plot, though.
God.
Oh, boy.
I'm like winded.
We're
back!
Yeah.
Ah!
Hello, you two. I thought you'd be back before long, so I baked some scones for us all.
Oh, what? Oh my god.
Oh God! Greetings, my dear fellows!
I heard you make a comment about Three Houses Fire Emblem Boy haircuts earlier.
Oh, this looks so atrocious.
Oh my god.
You've returned a good deal sooner than I was anticipating.
Hello, Mr. Sholmes.
Hello, Mr. Sholmes.
Say nothing! Your thoughts are written all over your faces, in any case. It turns out that it may have been advisable to test my hair color restoration tonic before application.
Am I?
Chat Ninja Fortnite! He got pronouns!
Oh, no! Pray tell me, what about Walter, friend? Have you granted some new information?
My life is amazing! Iris came in and brought me a sandwich. Not asked for. That's one of the most mockable tweets in human history.
It sure is.
Just not asked for. Just so much in those parentheses. Oh, yes. Something very surprising, in fact, though it's not a patch on your hair, to be honest.
It most certainly isn't.
Sure. Oh, okay.
Sholmes! Drop everything, Sholmes! This is more important!
Gina?
It's China.
Oh.
I'm an Evie.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What's happened?
Clearly a very grave matter indeed.
Oh shit, is Gregson
Oh.
fucking dead?
Well, Miss Lestrade made no mention of my hair whatsoever. Is the boss?
What do you mean? Inspector Gregson?
Oh, no.
The boss is...
No!
He's dead.
Chippy?
What?
I just found his body. Shot with a pistol.
I just keep losing.
What?
Oh, no.
Inspector Gregson?
He was murdered.
No. Not Grexy.
My dear girl, tell us the whole story. Oh, no.
So, I mentioned, like, 15 sittings ago that I was spoiled on one character death. This is the one I did know about.
Oh.
Rip.
Are you serious, Gina? Inspector Gregson he was really shot!
I don't know much about what happened myself yet.
All of Chad is just like, man, Will lost one of his last unracist characters.
They're still there, investigating the scene. How did this take place? The little rented room in a building full of flats in Franco Street. The outskirts of town, nowhere near his home. He was perhaps investigating a case then. The thing is, no one in the yard knows nothing about no case around there.
Oh, how strange.
Boss was... He was so good to me. I know I ain't up to much yet, but one day I was gonna show him. I was gonna show him I'd become a proper detective.
Iris underneath the pillow.
She is, listen, she is crying into a pillow, okay?
So, who did this? Do you have any idea who the culprit is? Obviously no. Oh.
They got him already.
Already?
They've got the shooter so soon.
The witness reported something was going on. The boys got straight down there and took good care of him.
Who? What awful person did this?
The judge.
I still can't
It
believe
might be
it myself.
Jigoku. It might have been Jigoku if he was
Oh
off doing
no.
something. Gina?
Oh.
Oh no! I'm just losing!
Oh!
What the fuck?
What? Wait a minute. You don't mean they've arrested Lord Van Zeeks for it?
That's right! The Reaper bloke's gone and shot the boss!
No. Lord Van Zeeks. Who is that again?
Jesus Christ! Are you quite sure, Miss Lestrade? It's Barak von Zeeks the police have arrested. I saw him with my own eyes, in the interview room in the yard.
I don't believe it.
There were witnesses, and they're all saying it was him.
So you mean there were actually multiple witnesses?
They had the gunshot, apparently. And when our lot got to the scene, there was only the boss and the Reaper bloke in the room.
Sounds familiar, looks at Gina. But there's no way Lord Van Zeeks would have taken Gregson's life.
We're defending Van Zeeks!
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah!
A little late on the uptake there. Yeah.
Amy was
I'm
busy
s-
acting.
I'm
That's true.
acting!
That's true. It's been so long since I've heard very sad Yam acting. It's like, oh fuck, I forgot. I was weak to this before we were dating. Now I'm screwed. I just don't believe it.
I don't believe it either.
Thank you for informing us, Miss Lestrade.
Great, very important scene. So funny. Sholmes has icy blue raspberry hair.
This really is most terrible news. I'm dreadfully sorry. What are you saying sorry for? You didn't do nothing.
I gave the orders.
Well, anyway, I'm taking the cab over to the scene right now. Please come in all as soon as you can. You've got to help.
See, all it took you to lock into Gina was for her to be fucking on the verge of tears.
Apparently. It's a detective's lot to appear wherever some sinister plot has unfolded. No wonder we all look haggard. Sometimes these things are almost too much for the nerves.
Mr. Sholmes.
What use is there in being a great detective if I fail to see something like this coming, How could I let this happen to Gregson? To Gregson? Mr. Naruhodo, I shall leave at once to begin my investigations.
Of course, yes, we will too.
It would be helpful if you could talk to Mr. Reaper and see what you can glean. I'm sure you were intending to do so anyway. Until later, then.
I actually really liked voicing Gregson.
Yeah.
I liked you voicing Gregson, too.
To be honest, we went so far, I kind of thought I might have just seen a false spoiler. Like, I was expecting it to be the last case of the first game, and then Gina was in his role all of this game. Because
Yeah.
The reason I got spoiled on it was because I was like, oh, Gina's really cute, and she becomes a detective. It's like, after Gregson dies, I was like, fuck. God damn it.
Weren't they supposed to go to Paris to get away from the shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the plan, but
They didn't. Inspector Gregson dead. And Lord Van Zeeks arrested.
Oh no, Susie! I've called you handsome. It's waiting outside.
You wanted to see me.
No, you!
I mean, we do want to go see him. Thanks, Iris. Shall we, Miss Susotto?
Yes.
Someone in chat, you got spoiled the exact same way I did.
Damn.
There he is.
Ah!
Lord Van Zeek's behind bars. He walks up. Hello, Japanese idiots.
So it's true. He really was arrested.
He's sitting with his back to the wall reading something. I don't think he's noticed us. Lord Van Zeeks.
C-D-E-F.
I'm trying to learn the alphabet.
Fancy meeting you here. The last place on Earth I'd like to be, with the last person on Earth I'd like to see.
I couldn't very well not come.
Most people say that about you.
Will and I looking at each other. Who's gonna do it?
I won't hesitate, bitch.
You guys over there with fucking squirt guns, me sitting with a parka and an umbrella knowing it was coming.
Knowing it was coming.
We heard what happened. Next bit, please. That Inspector Gregson was...
Go home. This has nothing to do with you.
But...
Forgive me, Lord Van Zeeks, but I must disagree.
Forgive me for the discourtety.
How dare you?
Oh, I'll do it again. I'm the one out here and you're in there.
Someone in chat. Can Uncle Ray help?
Oh
He's
my
in the
God.
next cell over.
No,
Good.
you can't.
That's where he should be.
Inspector
Man.
Gregson was very
What?
helpful to us on a number of occasions.
What the hell was Ray Shields?
A mistake. Moving on.
Why was that character? End sentence.
We're indebted to him. At the very least, we owe it to him to find out the truth about his death. You must help us with our investigation, please.
There's really nothing I can tell you.
What were you just reading at the back of the cell there? Was it something related to the case?
This? The Yard isn't quite so cavalier with its information as to share case details with a suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance.
I shot Gregson! Get fucked, idiot!
Yeah.
Who might that be?
Someone you know. As it happens, Elwood's hairbrain.
Of course, yes. Keep forgetting they went to the same university.
And I would like to read my correspondence in peace. So let's get this over with, shall we? What is it you want to know?
Strange. I mean, let's face it, Lord Van Zeeks never minces his words, but they seem to have less bite than usual somehow.
TSA took my fangs.
They took my claws away.
Can you at least tell us your side of the story, Lord Van Zeeks? What happened?
How much do you already know?
Like nothing.
We know that the inspector was shot dead in a small rented room on Fresno Street.
And that you were found there by the police when they arrived on the scene and immediately arrested.
And we were told that there was nobody else in the room and that some witnesses heard the gunshot.
Then you're well informed, and there's really nothing I can add. The truth is, I don't know what happened myself.
But the gunshot. Obviously you didn't fire the gun, did you?
I'm not in the habit of shooting the people I work alongside. I also heard the noise. However, before I had a chance to investigate, I was apprehended by the arriving officers.
So he doesn't actually know what happened.
If I might ask, what were you doing in that place to begin with?
I don't need to answer that.
Oh.
After all, you're not representing me.
He is going to need a lawyer, though. It'd be fun if Kazuma took the job.
Well, he's a prosecutor now.
Ah, I see.
Uh-huh.
maybe will get something to do.
Kazuma's racist now.
I hate you, Japanese. You've learned well.
Now, good comment in chat, so I was laying there, chips on my titties.
So, I was laying there, chips on my titties. It's not for me.
That's not why I was showing you it.
I suppose if it was a black-headed league, you would have no hesitation.
None whatsoever.
Sadly, my own hair color could no more be described as black as it could red. What colored league should I then join?
So stupid.
People are troubled by the most unexpected problems at times.
Okay. Who's going to be representing you in court, Lord Van Zieks?
Anyone other than you, I should imagine.
Why? Do you have something about me you don't like?
Would I be right in assuming that you have no representation as yet?
Defense lawyers shy away from any trial involving the Reaper, as I'm sure you know.
But this is different.
In my career, of all the defendants I've prosecuted, only 19 have ever been acquitted.
I like that. That's a reasonable number for a well-accomplished prosecutor.
Of them, 16 subsequently died in mysterious circumstances. Questions will be asked now.
Surely not.
I assure you, no defense lawyer will want to touch me with the end of a barge pole.
But you didn't actually have anything to do with those people's deaths, did you?
It's been 10 years now that I've been known as the Reaper of the Bailey. Believe me, nobody wants to know the true identity of this killer more than I. However, it seems things may come to a head before I've had chance to uncover the truth about that.
What does he mean by that? After the trial, Professor Harebrain was supposed to go straight back to Germany, I thought.
It's a letter to inform me of his safe arrival at home. I arranged his passage by sea and rail. It's a relief, I must say. He should now be beyond the reaches of the Reaper.
Because the Reaper doesn't follow people abroad, you mean?
Yes, so it seems. Your astute little Nipponese friend, for example.
Hey, he's very intelligent. Oh, stooped.
I did also read that as stupid for
I
some reason.
I almost did, and I was like, you won't get me.
Stupid little Nipponese friend.
You told me he was keeping well in Japan when I inquired the other day.
Yes, that's right. He's an author now, happily working in Tokyo.
So, Professor Harebrain is safely back in Germany now?
He is. So, it appears our conversation has run dry.
There was a 2-second silence, that's all.
Begone! Well, in any event, if you'll excuse me now, I wouldn't like to detain you.
I was wondering, Lord Van Zieks, if you'd like, I'd be happy to advocate for you.
Kia? You trust me, do you?
Yes. I've heard you speak many times in court. I've seen how you treat people. So I'm quite sure you never would have taken another's life. It's just... my feelings can't be used in evidence in a court of law, sadly.
It's a very gracious offer. However, I trust no one.
What?
Not the police, not the judiciary, and not you, Nipponese.
But, please.
I have no intention of engaging your services.
The chasm between us is just too wide and too deep, it seems.
I'd appreciate it if you don't visit again.
Damn, imagine being told that twice in the same day by 2 different unrelated people.
Then neither of us will waste any more time.
He left.
You've been strong-hearted.
So do you think Strongheart is gonna have to step in and be like, represent him, please?
No, I think it's gonna be Kazuma. Oh, you mean okay, us. Sorry, I thought you were asking a different question. Perhaps we need to dig a little deeper and find out more about Lord Van Zeeks and what happened to Inspector Gregson. Okay.
The bars are too tight for the bats.
I'm too close to this board. I can't read a fucking thing.
That's a pretty inconspicuous photograph.
This really is an out-of-the-way part of London. I doubt many people find their way down this back street. Imagine coming up with a uniform that cool and then ruining it with that hat.
Mm-hmm.
So this dust-ridden and rented old room is where it happened then. Is that a red wig?
It sure is. So this is where poor Inspector Gregson lost his life.
Yes, and the police are already hard at work investigating, it seems.
There's a rat in here. Hey, excuse me, a rat.
I don't
On
see
the
I
floor.
don't see Mr. Sholmes anywhere though. Ah, yes, the rat explodes. Sholmes.
Yeah. Is that Evie in the photograph?
Maybe. Perhaps his investigations have taken him elsewhere.
Oi, what do you think you're doing there? Every one of them drawers gotta be taken right out. Oh, sorry, drawers.
Yeah.
Oh my. Every one of them drawers has gotta be taken out right so you can look underneath and all. I want this space above the ceiling checked, and don't forget to look inside the chimney stack too. Blimey! Ain't you lot never gonna go over and I was looking for dough when the owners are out of town?
Gina's
Jesus
obviously...
Christ.
Oh my god.
Can you go back to crying, Gina?
You can just make her a crybaby. She's always crying.
Gina's
okay.
obviously got some unique investigative techniques she wants everyone to adopt.
Oh, so you turned up at last. Mind you, I ain't been here long myself.
Hello again, Gina.
Sholmes has only just left. You're lucky you missed that. He went prancing around here, pointing at stuff and flicking that... What the fuck?
That hat of his.
Oh, flicking that out of his and then just scarpered.
Scarpered?
Scarpered.
Yes,
It's like scrambling away.
Sure, I've just never seen it.
Yeah. Oh, he's finished investigating already, you mean?
Yeah, you know, I can't tell you why. Cockney's like an easy accent, but written out, it is illegible.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah, you didn't stop to say nothing to no one. Not even me.
Gina! Gina! Would you mind if we investigated too? Gina!
Oh, I dropped something.
Listen, Odo. You're loyal, right?
Yes. Why?
Well, not thinking of trying to help the Reaper bloke, are you?
Oh! Poor Gina. She's never going to forget, is she? That trial will haunt her forever.
Gina, if you don't mind me saying...
Shut up.
Shut your bitch ass up. Seriously, get a hold of yourself. Slap, slap, slap. If Lord Van Zeeks really is responsible for this crime, he will be duly and fairly judged in court.
Suppose you're right. Go on then, Odo. Get investigating. I want to know the truth about what really happened here.
Thank you, Gina. I guess I'll talk to you. Well, you know what?
Oh boy.
Let's investigate first, because we might find something that opens up another dialogue option.
Womana. Oh, it's a photograph stand. I suppose it must be a picture of one of Inspector Gregson's family members.
I don't think he lived here. What's the matter? Your eyes look like they're about to pop out of your head.
They are! Look, Mr. Naruhodo, quickly!
It's
He's running
Sholmes
away!
in drag!
Oh, it is.
Oh, nice
I
call.
was right.
Why do I feel this woman is familiar somehow? Naruhodo.
Cannot process women. Has no idea how to do it.
Of course she's familiar. We met her only this morning.
Ah, a woman! It's Mrs. Vigil.
This makes no sense. Why would there be a picture of Miss Vigil here?
Just because her husband... To be frank, I don't think I've ever been more stumped. Picks up the photograph. Who is this?
I'm pretty sure I saw a wig
Yeah.
on the floor next to the chalk outline. Oh, so do you think he was wearing a wig when he joined the society, and then
Yeah.
they found out he wasn't actually a redhead, so they killed him?
Yeah, so...
I'm so sorry to say, I have no idea either.
Yeah, so the missing husband is a member of this society. Maybe dead, maybe not sure. He's the missing, when he... I think when he died, his member slot was opened. And to investigate that, Gregson put on a wig and tried to join, and was investigating
what a shit
when
way
they
to
killed
go,
him.
bro.
Oh, that's weird that only 2 of the candles are melted down a bit.
There's blood on this one, I think.
Yeah.
Ever since we came in here, I can't take my eyes off this thing.
Oh, funnily enough, neither can I. It's... Oh, that's you.
Oh, sorry. It's a hairpiece, isn't it? I thought it was you too, actually.
It is. It is a bright red hairpiece.
And I suppose the fact that it's right here, it's right there next to where the body was found, means we have to accept that Inspector Gregson wore wigs, does it?
And in such flame-colored red, too.
Yes, that's a color we've come across very recently elsewhere, isn't it? Everywhere, wherever.
Exactly. This is a vital clue, I'm sure of it.
I would love it if... Can you, I don't think this is what
Gregson
happened.
dead body line got a debunk.
I do... Sizable donk.
Sizable donk.
I don't think this is what happened at all, but, I would love it if the red-haired society ended up killing this guy, and it was, or an enemy of their society killed this guy. It was like, all right, plant the stuff on him, and they drop a red wig like you'd slip cocaine into someone's pocket. What is this? Oh,
It's a toy
what's this?
soldier.
It's a little man. It would appear to be a
Oh.
little model policeman.
Sorry, I thought that was your sub for the line. Seeing as it's on the
No,
floor here, do you think it belonged to Inspector Gregson?
This was his son. He was raising him well. It's a
Hello.
little hard to imagine Lord Van Zieks playing with something like this.
It's only about 8 centimeters tall. Could have fallen out of someone's pocket, I suppose. I think we should record it as evidence, just in case.
Yes, I agree. It is rather delightful after all, in a way.
Okay. Gun.
The gown.
This is presumably the murder weapon, then.
Oh my! It is real, I suppose. Oh, here's the thing. There are 2 objects on the ground, and there are 2 holes in the window.
Yeah, maybe. I think so. Guns are so rare in Japan, I really know very little about them.
There's only one way to know for sure, Mr. Naruhodo. Fire a shot!
No, no, no. If I did that, I'd be looking for a skilled lawyer to represent me in court. Slightly safer to just ask someone who might know, I think. Yeah, so we gotta show that to Gina. Excuse me. I was about to be like, Will, do you want to be this? And I was like, well, then I'll say something racist.
Sorry, sir. Can't see a thing, sir. Too many tears.
I don't see race.
Too many tears, sir. Now that Jello's voiced me.
Right. Perhaps I'd better leave you to your work, then. Do they have different things to say? Excuse me.
Crying, sir.
Oh,
If you're looking down on us from the great beyond, Inspector, don't worry. We'll look after things at the yard.
I've interrupted some deep thoughts here.
BRB.
The top of one of the candles on this candle holder has been completely blown off. Yes, there's wax splattered on the wall behind. Look. I don't think that's wax. I suppose if a bullet had hit it...
It does seem likely that the bullet hit the candle, having first passed through the inspector's body.
Ugh. Now that wax on the wall looks like blood to me. Okay. A lot of items. Somebody's very haphazardly nailed those boards over the broken glass, haven't they? You couldn't even really call it a window anymore.
Well, if you remember the window in Mr. Natsume's room that was totally blocked up with bricks,
This one does it. You can say nothing more about it. Stop talking, Susato. I'm starting to feel even more sorry for Mr. Natsume now. Candlebra.
Oh.
This looks like some sort of notice board or something.
And it's absolutely covered in scraps of paper.
Mr. Naruhodo, look!
This, you mean? It's an autopsy report, isn't it?
And there are case notes here, and details of prison inmates.
Yes. In fact, they're all the sorts of documents that only a detective could normally acquire. What on earth went on in this room?
Some old newspaper cuttings. Oh, and this one here.
Oh, yes, the advertisement you mean. To the Red-Headed League. But why? What's that doing here?
Whoever occupied this room was clearly interested in it.
interested in it for some reason.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Oh, Inspector. Oh, sir.
Poor man. Can't possibly be able to focus on investigating when he's so upset. But he has to solve this case. Fellow officers going down are literally the only cases that police officers try on. I read that as empathy. An empathy fireplace makes a room feel even colder than it would otherwise, doesn't it?
It's thick with dust. Look. I think it would be fair to say it hasn't been used in a very long time.
In other words, whoever lived in this room must have been extremely hardy in cold weather.
Or nobody lived here at all and merely visited when the occasion arose. I wouldn't like to say which is more likely.
No, that's right. It's one or the other. What? Okay. Why was it? Alright.
What are the photographs? Why are they turned around?
Photographs? Oh, these? I think those are blank frames. It's just some shit. I'm gonna look at... I think at least 2 of these items probably have something to be found on them. Gunshot.
Whoa.
Oh, there's some black marks here, look.
Yes, they look like some sort of scorch marks.
Ah, getting red hair the hard way. So perhaps the bullet struck the candle here, do you think? It's only this one candle that's been cracked in half, it seems.
Yes, I think you might be right. Firearms are rarely used by criminals in Japan, so I'm afraid I'm not particularly knowledgeable about them.
Okay. Gun.
Pointed at you.
I suppose this must have been the murder weapon.
Oh my. It is real, I suppose.
I think so. Oh, I think this is the same dialogue you saw before. Okay. I'm gonna guess that's everything on this gun until we show
I think there's something on the oh, no, I guess not. I thought
No,
there was something on the handle.
it's all checked now. I assume we can only investigate that later. It's a little man.
Little man. You pull his arm and he makes a sound? Or you pull his nose? The helmet of this charming policeman appears to be a little worse for wear. He got a bonkered on the head.
Not convinced about the charming part, but yes, you're right. The head part looks like it's been fairly heavily manhandled, and I would know something about that. Almost as if somebody enjoyed twisting it around and around for fun, and I would know something about that. Shall we try twisting it round and round too? For fun? Oh my god. Oh, what's that? It's
to be some sort of key. Oh.
Looks at chat.
Do.
But it's tiny though. It couldn't be a key for a door.
Do not.
If that is the gas key for the fireplace, I will explode. So what is
Much
it for?
like a gas fire.
Because there will be gas. And I will go a boom.
Looks like a little gun.
Pew, 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 pew.
This looks like some sort of key.
Yes, it does. A very tiny and simple key.
What's a little key doing inside a figurine of a policeman in the first place? And what's it for?
Oh, this is just the turnkey for Gregson's automaton apparatus.
It's basically my inhaler. I need that to keep me going, but I forgot.
Oh, damn, bro. Cheap ass material. Don't got no wefts in it. There's no clips.
I've always wondered what the underside of a hairpiece looks like.
That doesn't surprise me at all, Mr. Naruhodo. You always want to see what lies beneath, don't you?
Oh, you caught me staring at Van Zeek's, did you? I'm not quite sure that's how I'd put it. You must have had to use lots of bird lime to keep... What? You must have had to use lots of bird lime to keep it in place on your
Glue.
head. So it doesn't get blown off in a gust of wind, I mean.
That Might be a little inconvenient when you wanted to take it off again, though, don't you think?
Idiot! Idiot
Stupid
dumbass!
ass.
Oh, we can investigate. Okay.
Woman!
So I suppose this is where the victim...
That's right, the rope is laid around the body to show exactly how it was found. Oh, it already been taken away.
Shh, it's okay, Susato. Shh, go to sleep. Pillow smothers her. And would probably be under Dr. Syed's scalpel by now, if not for what happened last week.
From the shape of the rope, it would appear that the inspector was curled up in a ball.
Oh no.
Oh. Are you feeling all right, Mr. Naruhodo? You look like you've just seen a ghost.
I know it's just a rope, but... Well, it conjures up quite a terrifying image, that's all. Especially with that bloodstain next to it. Naruhodo's
yes.
such a little squeamish bitch.
A tapeworm. Oh, I do
Ew.
In some ways, what we picture in our minds can be even worse than reality.
Susato song is so as I sing her. Susato
La,
song
la,
is
la,
so
la,
strong
la.
though. She's taking this far better than I am. Sorry.
Someone had mentioned that we might not have looked over one more piece of evidence that we got.
Yeah. No, that's the wrong button.
Ba-ba-da-ba-dum-bum.
Chief Warden Daily Vigil is relieved of his post with immediate effect for having violated Clause 132 of Her Majesty's Code of Conduct for Prisons. All rights to redundancy pay and other financial benefits are fully revoked. Okay, we're going to need to use that at some point for money-related reasons. Aiding and reason for dismissal. Aiding and abetting the escape of the prison convict, the professor, just prior to his execution. Details of this escape are still being investigated. Full cooperation with inquiries will be expected.
His name's Barricade.
Indications are that the jailbreak plot was conceived prior to the convict's incarceration. It's believed that the convict engaged in some form of negotiation with prison staff in order to secure assistance. Full disclosure of information regarding these negotiations will be demanded. Okay.
Can you flip around the photograph of...
I don't think so. I think it's...
The photograph,
it's just
no,
like a static image.
Yeah, no. And let's show the
Oh,
gun.
I wonder about the photograph of the husband.
Of the husband? I think it's...
Yeah.
Most photographs tend to just be a static shot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
This fucking...
That sure does look like a wig.
Yeah, that's absolutely a wig.
This fucking JoJo Part 8 looking face. Okay.
Investigate the letter, the blue card, everyone says.
Oh my god, guys, I'm working my way there. We've got a lot to do. Really? She's not the person we need to give the gun to. Okay.
La 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 la.
Wow. Why is it torn off like that?
Oh, it looks like this is some sort of steamship ticket. The SS Grouse, first class cabin 001. Yokohama departure 11th of September, London arrival 1st of November.
That's
you.
That's me. That's the boat that Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jigoku came on from Japan, isn't it?
Yes, I think it called at Dunkirk on the north coast of France for a night before finally arriving in Dover.
I think it's been almost a year since we arrived in Dover on the SS Burya. Seems a shame not to keep your ticket as a memento of your trip, don't you think?
Yes, I agree. I had mine safely in my diary.
And I keep mine in my wallet, so I have it with me at all times. Oh. Well, how strange. Where could it have gone?
Are you like this on purpose, Mr. Naruhodo?
Did I imagine it, or was that comment accompanied by a little sigh? Alright, we haven't actually talked to her yet, so...
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some chips.
Gina, what was Inspector Gregson doing here in the first place?
That's what I want to know. It's what? Half a year since I got out of the clink. That's when I decided to give up me diving and become a detective instead.
Oh, yes, Mr. Sholmes twisted the inspector's arm to agree to take you on as an apprentice, didn't he?
Something like that, I think. Anyway, the point is, I didn't really know much about the boss till then. It turns out, he's a bit of a legend at the yard.
Goodness, really?
They say he managed to solve some really tricky case, just like that.
I think I might be misremembering because it's been so long. I believe Gregson was one of the people named as part of a conspiracy on the Japanese Morse code machine at the end.
Yes.
So I'm guessing he also has ties to whoever the main antagonist is and was probably occasionally using underhanded methods to solve cases. He did.
Yes.
Yep, and ever since then he started going out on all sorts of investigations, always out on his own. No one else at the yard even knows what half the cases he's working on are, apparently.
Really? That's not how it's supposed to work, is it? So, what was the legendary inspector doing in a dingy little room like this? Doing in a dingy... Legendary line delivery.
I know he had a lot of respect for the Reaper and all, and well, that landed him.
Respect for the Reaper? In what way?
I heard him say as much. Take my hat Sorry, that's hat again, okay. Take my hat off to that fella. Words.
Someone says, yes, the code was K. Asagi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, and J. Wilson. So.
Okay.
So watch out, Gregson. I guess they're all dead except Kazuma now. Haha, uh-oh. Not how the general public feels, is it? Most people are terrified of the Reaper.
Wait, who is A. Shin?
That's the, that's Giselle Brett.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the boss said that's exactly why he respected the bloke.
I didn't realize Gregson held the Reaper in Quatchsight high regard.
Croissant!
In Croissant.
He says something else to me and all. I didn't need to worry about the Reaper, because he only goes after people who are bad.
Oh, really? Do you know the inner machinations of the Reaper and how he kills people? That's interesting.
I think it kind of set my mind at ease when he said that.
Right. What is this place, then? Does anybody live here?
No. Apparently it's being rented by some cove called Hugh Boone.
Hugh Boone?
Hugh Boone.
Hugh Boone.
Hugh Boone.
Hugh Boone. Moo moo moo. Hugh Boone. It's a... It's sort of here today, gone tomorrow name, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's what we call an unidentified person. We haven't been able to get in touch with him.
Hugh Boone. I see. Well, judging from appearances, I'd have to say this place hasn't been lived in for a long time, if ever.
Right? All the lads from the yard piled down to get stuck into this investigation. But it's so little here, no one knows what to do with themselves.
I do wonder.
Yes, Miss Susato?
Well, could it be that this Hugh Boone is, in fact, Inspector Gregson himself?
What? How could that be?
Well, if he was investigating on his own, it's quite possible that this was, in fact, some kind of secret office of his.
I'd never even considered that.
Nice work, Suze! We're actually following the line of inquiry like that ourselves.
Oh, thanks, dude.
You are. I started watching, Jay wanted to watch more, like, American cartoons, because he just hasn't really seen any, so we started rewatching Gravity Falls, and it's very fun, because I haven't seen it since it ended, and it's very good, and I forgot how everything about it is just really good.
If you look around the room, you'll see there's a few things that hint at it.
We really should investigate this place in detail.
I see, that's where the poor inspector was found. Over there.
That's right. They said it's a single bullet what did him in.
I mean, good, I guess.
Apparently the bullet went right through him and struck the candle tree on the wall.
A candy zebra? Oh, yes. It's man, what an unacceptably stupid exchange that was.
I'm glad I missed it.
No, it's from the investigation games where it's in the video too, where it's just like she was stabbed by a candelabra. A candy zebra? Gumshoe.
Oh, right.
Oh yes, it's blown one of the candles apart completely.
The gun used is there on the floor. It's the Reaper's in it. I'm denying that.
What? Really?
How do you know that?
I'm back.
Take it easy.
Wow.
I don't know what to do with myself when you stare at me with them bigger white eyes. I'm only saying what I've heard. I don't know much about guns myself.
I was just reminded of one of my favorite jokes from like the pre-YouTube era. I think this guy had stuff up on Newgrounds, but he had his own website and it was called Waterman. And there's this one quick bit where he normally the character is like a cartoon guy who has like little dot eyes, but in one episode he gets these like big, fully animated, circular, like blue eyes, like that look a little more human, because he's like, I got pretty eye surgery, so a girl that I like will like me back because I'm attractive now. And at one point in God, maybe that's not even that episode, it doesn't matter. At one point, they're on a boat and it's like a pirate themed episode, and he's kind of losing it due to cabin fever, and they look across the way and it's just like, what's that on the horizon? And all right, let's check. Go gadget binoculars. And his eyes just get bigger and bigger, and then they pop, and he just goes, set course for a hospital. And it fucks
Holy
me
shit.
up. Because it's like there's no reason he's able to just inflate his eyeballs.
But there's some bigwig lawman or whatever who said so. Why don't you go ask him?
A big wig lawman, is it?
Anyway, Fresno Street runs along under that window there. There were some street sellers just outside who heard this gunshot.
Oh, but I don't recall seeing anybody outside.
Yeah, they've all been taken down to the yard for questioning, that's why. We're talking about the yard's legendary inspector, after all. They'll be getting a grilling.
Do you think we might be able to speak with those street sellers ourselves? I wonder if one of them is Irish and one of them is French.
I doubt it. The lads at the yard just want to know what you're snooping for. And you'll end up for a grilling and all.
So we can't interview the witnesses then. Shame.
Shame, really.
All right. I think the implication is we're supposed to go to here and show him the gun.
Is Will back? Okay.
You've made good time.
I took an express train back to London.
To Goku?
I can hear Lord Strongheart. Can you?
Yes, it sounds like he's talking to someone.
Oh, hello.
Oh. Is everything in place? I had a private compartment on the train, so I could check all the paperwork.
It's...
Kazama-sama!
Pivot.
Oh, your timing is impeccable.
It is.
No doubt you've heard the sickening news about the Reaper's latest devilry.
Yes.
I'm sure you don't believe it, of course, though, Lord Strongheart. That Lord Van Zieks would have done such a thing to Inspector Gregson.
I believe only in the facts. And the facts in this case point to one thing. The unavoidable accusal of Lord Van Zieks for this crime. We must bring charges against the Reaper for taking the life of our legendary detective.
Oh, no, surely not!
It's a truly regrettable situation. Tomorrow, the Forensic Science Symposium finally begins.
At the very least, though, we can show the world our justice system's swift and equitable processes.
So does that mean the trial is tomorrow?
Precisely. In fact, this is a fine opportunity for introductions.
I see.
Kazuma, what are you wearing?
Ah, but of course, you're already acquainted, aren't you? Mr. Asagi here will be present at tomorrow's proceedings, leading the prosecution.
Wait, what? Kazuma? Kazuma, why you do that?
As I'm sure you're aware, he's a very capable practitioner of law.
Kazuma-sama? A prosecutor?
Well, goodbye. Can I... Is he...
Examinable? Yes.
I'm sorry for all the worry I caused you, but it'll be all right now.
Has your memory completely returned?
Yes, completely. I remember everything, including what I was coming here to do.
Right.
Kazuma-sama, I can't tell you how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. But how did you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia?
It was the voice. This past year, I've been hearing it in my head constantly, saying the same thing over and over.
Gay, gay, homosexual, gay.
Go to London! There's where your destiny awaits! Something
Interesting
like
voice.
It was the voice that guided me here to London. I couldn't mistake it. It was Gregson.
I'm so sorry for what's happened.
You need to show up and kill me!
Do it! Anyway.
Someone in chat, gay, gay, homosexual. Fuck!
But there's something that won't return to the way it was before.
What do you mean?
I'm a prosecutor now, so I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon.
Man, why you gotta be like that, huh? Man.
Stop it. Doing.
Oh.
It's so guarded.
That's my chastity belt.
Ultimate psyche lock challenge.
I'm sure you can imagine that tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. In fact, no, people all over the Empire will be watching closely to see how it unfolds.
There's no salvation for anyone in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper of the Bailey. And now the Reaper himself must stand in the dock.
Quite so. The public want answers about the Reaper. Answers about how and why those who escaped conviction subsequently died mysterious deaths.
But Lord Van Zieks firmly denies any involvement in such matters.
Oh, he's innocent then.
And there have been thorough investigations that have proven him to be innocent.
That's certainly true. Or it has been, at least until now.
Oh, whoops.
Ah!
No, tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter in our country's great judicial history. So I believe.
So, Kazuma will be prosecuting tomorrow.
That's right.
But he's a defense lawyer, not Lord Strongheart.
Accomplished young practitioners cannot pick and choose their roles. And imagine what it will mean for the prosecution to know the strategies commonly employed by the defense. A devastating combination, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. I've no doubt at all that Kazuma will be razor sharp as a prosecutor.
But why Kazuma-sama? There are surely many other highly skilled prosecutors in Great Britain. You know, we just didn't have to make more characters.
It was a personal request. I asked to be assigned to the trial.
You asked for this? But why?
It'll all become clear tomorrow.
Come on. Come on.
Come on, just a little one. Just a little kiss. I'm guessing you intend to stand for the defense, don't you? Although, the Reaper appears to be turning down all offers of representation.
He hates representation.
I'm surprised such a personal request would have been upheld. It seems unprecedented. Quite exceptional, in fact.
You are quite right, Miss Mikotoba. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in every way. After all, the accused is one of Britain's greatest prosecutors, the pride of the Empire. It would be unwise to give the public a reason to perceive it as the judiciary closing ranks.
So that's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution.
Ryunosuke, let's see how your skills have been honed after practicing law in this land for so many months.
I would love it if Kazuma sucked ass as a prosecutor.
He
Like,
just
wouldn't
threw the case.
Like, wouldn't that just be funny? He's like, yes, I have all this training. And then he's like, oh god, I've been basically drugged and out of it for 8 months. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm really screwed. Kazuma, I don't understand why you're being so hostile to me right now. This isn't going to end well, my friend. I'm going to shoot you! Oh, yes. We noticed that there was a gun at the scene of Inspector Gregson's death. Do you know if it belongs to Lord Van Zeeks? Like the last case in AA6 with Nick. Yeah, I liked that case. Jury's still out on this one. We'll see. Do you know if it belongs to Lord Van Zeeks?
That would be a question for the lead detective investigating the scene.
Well, the thing is, she wasn't sure, so she told me I should ask somebody higher up who might know.
That's right, Mr. Naruhodo, be direct.
It's certainly a model that's issued to all personnel involved in law enforcement, yes. Which includes prosecutors, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Kazuma did it! In that case, it could actually have belonged to the victim.
No. Gregson had his own gun on his person.
What if he had 2 guns?
What about, my god, you've blown this thing wide open. What about Lord Van Zeeks?
He claims it's currently not in his possession.
What?
According to his story, he lost it. In short, it's more than a little suspicious.
But just because the gun in question is the same type as the defendant's is no proof that it actually is his.
No, of course not.
Nevertheless, the situation is grave for Lord Van Zeeks. Oh, he's gone again. Doesn't look like we're going to glean much more here. Well, thank you very much, Lord Strongheart.
Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in our Empire's history. There's much you could learn from the public gallery.
Man, this sucks.
Sorry to have taken up so much of your time. We'll see ourselves out.
Hold it!
Yeah, why aren't... It's fucking incredible to me we haven't, like, sat down for lunch or something yet.
Before you go, Ryunosuke.
Oh, what is it? I don't even know what emotion this character is supposed to be feeling right now. Just, oh, what is it, Kazuma? What's going on?
I just wanted to thank you.
Kazuma-sama, what?
You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my stead. And you carried out my role to perfection.
You always were intent on studying British law in order to change our own justice system. It was your dream, and Mr. Naruhodo didn't want that to die with you.
Yes. But I had another purpose for coming here.
Oh?
I actually have a favor to ask.
Which is?
This trial I'll be prosecuting tomorrow. I'd like you to be there to see how it ends. Right in front of me, as the defense counsel.
Why? What's all this about?
I know you have what it takes.
But Lord Van Zeeks would never put his fate in my hands.
On the contrary, he recognizes your talent.
He does?
It's not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this.
You.
Oh no.
That's... God, what is... His older brother looks like something so specific, and I cannot put my finger on it.
He's got a little bug antennae.
Yeah, the bug.
I realized that gigantic portrait he had in his office was
his brother.
Yeah. Oh, that's me, sorry. That's Lord Van Zeeks and Inspector Gregson.
In a photograph that must have been taken some time ago by the look of it. And who's the Ryunosuke! What is your problem? These are men. Why can't you recognize them? Maybe like
it is a little silly how they're like very sharp and to the point with some things, and then other times it's like, what is this?
Do you think maybe he does have face blindness?
I think
though? 'Cause,
he's
like,
just.
that's pretty-
I think he's genuinely face blind. Like I'm just gonna pretend that because it will make me tolerate it.
So here's the thing, is that if I remember, I didn't fucking look for it there, but Van Zeeks doesn't have the face scar in that picture.
It was displayed very prominently in the detective's office.
In Gregson's office, you mean face scar?
Yeah, he's got a little dash across the middle of his face.
I think those are just his wrinkles, Civ.
Is it?
I've never identified anything on him as a scar.
Am I crazy?
Oh,
No,
maybe,
it's a scar.
maybe
Yeah,
you're
it's a
right.
scar.
I thought
Yeah.
just his fucking portrait is so evil.
He's so
I
evil, my
love
God.
him.
Very funny.
In the actual 3D models, so many characters have like the X in the middle. No, you're right though. He looks Amish.
Wow,
He
he's
does.
younger than Strongheart?
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Wait.
Yes. What I'm trying to say is...
Sorry, I
you
wasn't
know,
sure if you read that already.
No. Yes, what I'm trying to say is, if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some straight talking makes him take a different view.
You know that
Yeah,
I'm
well, I
not
don't know
good
how
at
to do
that.
Yeah, no, we don't know how to do that.
Take it.
I don't understand. Why are you giving me this?
Just hurry, Ryunosuke. Visiting hours at the prison are almost over.
What are you doing, Kazuma?
Goodbye.
I doubt this will bite me in the ass in any way.
I'm gonna do this last thing with the prison so I don't forget, and then we'll call it.
Okay.
Cool beans.
Hey.
I'm just gonna keep eating some chips.
God, what a long letter. Lord Van Zeeks is still reading that letter.
We've been gone quite some time, though.
Either he's an incredibly slow reader, or it's an incredibly long letter. I might even be able to read English faster than he can.
What
the fuck did you just say?
I was using it as a means to teach my bats. I was intending to ignore you entirely. But I can't turn a deaf ear to such an insulting Nipponese.
Oh, sorry, I didn't think you'd hear that.
I had the case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time.
Yes, we heard that your trial is set for tomorrow.
Which is none of your business.
So, have you found a lawyer?
How many times must I reiterate the same thing? This is nothing to do with you.
In other words, no.
We were just talking to Lord Strongheart, and the prosecutor for your trial has been decided.
I'd expect nothing less, though I have no idea who it is.
It's going to be Kazuma Asagi.
Ugh, Asagi!
That made the color drain from his face. What color?
That is a pretty big slap in the face if you think about it.
Well then, it seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all.
Logic chess.
10 years ago, my older brother, who was the director of prosecutions at the time, was murdered. And the killer, as you know, was a visiting student from the Far East. Not a single day goes by when I don't curse the name Asagi.
Genshin Asugi was Kazuma-sama's father.
So what cruel twist of fate is this now, 10 years later? The man's son is to crucify me in some kangaroo court.
I still don't understand why Lord Strongheart apprenticed Kazuma to you. Yeah, it makes no sense.
It's what he does. No doubt he knew of the young man's true identity from the outset.
He's kind of a villain. Like, he's a little fucked up and stupid. But what could he have been hoping to achieve?
And let's not forget that it was only 8 days ago that Kazuma recovered from his amnesia. Why would Lord Strongheart assign this trial to somebody like that?
Asagi. That name is the very epitome of my bane. The bane that is you Nipponese.
Right. Your hatred of all of us Japanese. Why don't you talk about it a little more? Oh my god, I was fucking kidding! You know what, Will?
I hold your...
Will, let's trade characters for this scene.
Oh no!
Let's trade. Let's see how ironclad your curse is.
I'd only just been appointed as a prosecutor when it happened 10 years ago. My brother, Clint, the director of prosecutions, was hunting down a mass murderer. The so-called... Oh, that's you.
The so-called professor.
Assigned to the investigation as his partner was a certain visiting student dispatched from Scotland Yard.
And that was Genshin Asagi.
Exactly. I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrous in the extreme to me. But none of us saw the true nature of the man. So I lost everything when it happened. My esteemed brother, the people I believed in.
Okay, this might be an important scene. Do you want to take your character back?
Sure. And any semblance of right prevailing over wrong.
Oh, how awful.
To avenge my brother, I prosecuted an Asagi's trial. It wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed, but I beleaguered the ascribed prosecutor until he consented.
What do you mean by the ascribed prosecutor?
The man in charge of the Professor case inquiry, Lord Mail Strongheart.
Wait, what? Lord Strongheart?
He was a highly accomplished prosecutor, and he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Since that time, he's the one person to whom I felt indebted.
I'm sure he must have seen your zeal for the case and he recognized your potential as a prosecutor.
Anyway, time passed. But then earlier this year, who should arrive in London but you?
Oh.
His name being pronounced Mail still gets me. What? His name is Maelstrom.
And of all things, as a lawyer.
I felt your animosity the first time I ever faced you in the courtroom. Your obvious deep loathing of us Japanese.
I kept telling myself it was illogical. But for so many years, that hatred festered inside me. I could no longer control it.
And I can understand why. Now I know the history.
You shouldn't agree with... Okay.
In the same way that I've long felt the Nepalese to be the bane of my life. To Kazuma Asagi, I am the bane of his, the Reaper who sent his father to the gallows.
Oh, I don't think he thinks about you at all, actually.
He's looking for revenge, and he intends to take it in court tomorrow.
Gregson's transfer to the Paris police prefecture had finally been arranged for the coming month. But he'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy.
Oh, yes. Come to think of it, did he mention... he did mention something about that, didn't he? I feel like, just to alleviate Will, anytime Van Zeke says something racist, we should just all loudly read the line at the same time as fast as we can.
That sounds good.
I wonder, does it happen often, being transferred internationally, I mean?
It's the first time I've ever encountered it.
Oh.
The Paris police welcoming an English detective is almost inconceivable. I can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to put that arrangement in place.
It sounds like that mystery has even the Reaper perplexed.
It does.
I'm afraid to say that we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. We hear that he was considered something of a legend at Scotland Yard.
Again, it was 10 years ago that he was first made a name for himself by uncovering a decisive piece of evidence that exposed the professor's identity. If it wasn't for Gregson's singular approach to the case, the discovery would never have been made.
What sort of approach?
Fish and chips. After my brother's life was taken, the inspector pushed for a full autopsy.
Oh my, 10 years ago?
Why is that so surprising?
Autopsy was considered a desecration of the body at the time and rarely performed. And my brother was, of course, a noble. That made the idea of it even more unthinkable.
Oh shit, sorry.
But something... No, you're good. But something Gregson had dug up in his investigations made him determined it was necessary.
Hey, they buried bodies under these stones.
Look at that! His powerful convictions somehow influenced the House of Lords, and as a result, I could avenge my brother's death.
So I'm kind of sad because it really feels like they're setting up Strongheart puppeteering this move towards forensic science for many years through this like bonkers series of plans where he ends up sponsoring people like Gregson and Van Zeeks. But like,
Yeah.
what if that like didn't happen? I just want Strongheart to be a neutral party so bad. So
it would be the biggest twist.
You must have had great confidence in the inspector's abilities then.
And it's even more inconceivable that you would have taken his life.
I don't have confidence in anyone. And I'm sure Gregson felt the same way.
Oh, Civ, don't ban people like that because they aren't worth it, and that's them succeeding if you ban them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, though. What really went on between Lord Van Zeeks and Gregson, I wonder? What was the true nature of their relationship?
You're my little fish and chips.
Yeah, give me your little fish and lips.
Unironically, the idea of him calling like his wife or something my little fish and chips is really cute.
About the gun. Used to shoot the inspector that was found at the scene.
Ah, yes. That's not mine.
Really? Because common opinion seems to be... Really? Because common opinion seems to be that it is.
What do you expect me to say to that?
Lord Strongheart informs us that you claim to have misplaced your firearm?
As embarrassing as that is, I'm afraid it's true.
When did you lose it then?
I'm not telling that to a Japanese.
That's... I don't know.
Oh, fuck, Jesus Christ.
I was issued with a revolver when I first became a prosecutor 10 years ago. I must have stowed it somewhere, I suppose. Or left it somewhere, perhaps.
You have something in common with Lord Van Zeeks, after all, Mr. Naruhodo. A talent for misplacing things.
And we're both gay.
Oh,
No.
and we're both Capricorns.
Just imagine, like,
Of course you're a Capricorn. Explains so much about you.
what? No, this is nothing to do with me. Don't drag me into it.
Don't
Make the mistake of associating me with this Japanese!
This gentleman!
Oh dear, the rift is very wide, isn't it?
So, it's not decisive evidence, clearly, but it doesn't look good. That's for sure.
Someone in chat says Van Zeek says Gap Moe. Kinda does.
What?
Gap Moe?
It's like let me get a definition before I make a fool of myself. Gatmoe is a term often used in reference to fictional characters that describe when said character does something completely contradictory to what their usual habits, personality, and appearance dictates.
Yeah, I think the key is to show him the photograph.
Yeah.
Nope. Oh, there it is. Yep, you're right.
Oh, there it is.
Lord Van Zeeks, we came by this old photograph. Ugh, how did you get a photograph with me in it? I don't show up on camera.
That was
Not-
This is the last time my soul was captured.
I used to be able to see myself in mirrors and photos, but ever since the incident, it was taken when I became a qualified prosecutor.
There you are, my little fish and chips. Call you that because I like to bite you. Mwah.
He was the one who turned me.
It's almost unbelievable. I assumed it was long lost.
Is the man on the left there?
Yes, that's my brother, Clint.
But who could the person on the right be?
Oh, I don't
That's
know.
my brother, Clint. But who's the man in the middle? That's my brother, Clint.
YouTube poop humor.
But who's the man in the cell?
That's my brother, Clint.
Apparently, this picture.
I have a. Never mind. Keep going.
Apparently, this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office.
Gregson, that's my brother, Clint.
Clint.
He had a deep respect for you, you know. Were you aware of that?
Respect. That's nonsense.
No, we've heard someone attest to it very clearly. Inspector Gina Lestrade, no less.
Gina Lestrade. That's my brother, Clint. Well, maybe once, yes. There was a time things were like that. We were brothers in arms, jovially discussing the future of justice and other such lofty subject matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past. I thank you.
I feel as though I got a nice glimpse of the past then, too. That's... Never mind. That was a glimmer of light in his
Go
eyes.
on, say it.
A brief twink, an insight into the true nature of this man, known to all as the Stone Cold Reaper of the Bailey. I got a nice glimpse of the past. That's, he turns. I can't articulate this. It's fine.
Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh! That's the first time he's ever used my actual name.
I've lost all confidence in my country's justice system. I don't trust the police, the judiciary, or the lawyers.
Me neither.
But there's still one thing I'm willing to believe in, and that's my brother, Clint. That which you see in the eyes of another across the courtroom, a simple determination to know the truth.
Lord Van Zeeks.
From the very first time we clashed in the Bailey almost a year ago now, I couldn't deny it, even though I dearly wished I could.
Here is a loathsome Japanese who has absolute integrity as a lawyer.
He seems nice. There are only two other men I've known with that same look in their eyes. My brother, Clint.
And my brother, Clint.
Clint.
My brother! Man, some fucking banger moments in tonight's stream.
With all your heart, Will.
Oh
Deliver
my god.
No. All right.
Who was it? Who was it? Tell me.
Fuck. Oh. I'm usually okay with this shit. I don't know why this is getting me.
Lord Van Zeeks! Oh
no! My brother, Clint. And Genshin Asugi.
The man he idolized, and the man who betrayed his trust in the most hideous way. And his brother, Clint.
When you showed me that photograph just now, it reminded me of my brother, Clint.
You mean this photograph? The one of your brother, Clint? This is the most fucked up I've ever heard, Will, on a stream.
Oh my god!
I don't know why this one's getting me. Oh, man.
Oh, my face hurts.
I was able to laugh. I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plague me now. I looked to the future with hope. Since then, I've protected myself against betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. But at times, the mire into which I've sunk makes it almost impossible to breathe.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, your whole character argument, like, the concept there would have been a lot more sentimental and, like, easy to relate to if you hated more than just Japanese people and you were rude to everybody else, too. Like, your general just distrust of everybody and fear of the outside world and people manipulating you would have been a lot more cathartic! Anyway, tell us about your brother, Clint.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, I want to believe in that look in your eyes. I need to believe in it. In tomorrow's trial, will you advocate for me?
Of course I will. It would be an honor.
I'm so pleased, Mr. Naruhodo.
Then my life is in your hands. Just like my brother, Clint.
For Lord Van Zeeks and his brother, Clint. That must have been something, which is why I simply cannot tomorrow, in the Old Bailey, against my old friend Cosima and his brother.
Holy shit, man. Will, you were fucked up just then.
Dude, I don't know why that bit, like, the fact that it was legitimately my brother Clint fucking devastated me.
I think that is your equivalent of the, I made these myself, so here, please.
They might be a little misshapen, though.
Where we're doing a dumb bit that's like mostly just in our heads, and then immediately the game is like, here, I'll play along.
Oh boy.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, if we got any, can we get some clips, gang?
Oh, much appreciated. Just let me wipe the fucking tears from my eyes.
Oh god.
Nice.
Oh, I'm sorry it took me so long to read that line. I was just fucked up.
No, don't
Oh my
apologize for that.
Every time I was getting ready, my brain was going, my brother, Clint. It's like, I know, we have to say
He
it.
said that. I just picture him holding a lollipop and he's wearing like a little Teletubbies outfit. He's sitting there like,
Good night,
Oh.
everybody.
good night.
Bye.